Buhari is dead and buried in a shallow grave in Saudi Arabia. Aisha Buhari was there. She came back from what they called a lesser Hajj. She was wearing black. She was mourning. If you look at the pictures that were circulated at that point in time, you will see the smug, or should I say, the forlorn faces of northern governors. A minute silence was held at the AU for a late Buhari. Even Her Britannic Majesty Queen Elizabeth II also penned a condolence message to the people of Nigeria before the cabal took over and asked her to rescind it, which she did. Buhari is dead, and I'm prepared to stake Biafra on it. If you, Dele Momodu, can go and prove to me, I'm not asking you to do anything too complex. If you can go and ask this man you call Buhari, whoever it is in Aso Rock, to come outside, don't do very much, address a panel of Nigerian youths, maybe 20 of them, and speak Buhari's mother tongue, which is Fulfude. I will give up Biafra. I will apologize to him, and I will submit myself to any authority on this earth to do with me as they please. There is no Buhari. Jubril was there. Jubril followed Abba Kyari to Cuba and ran away from there and never came back. The man you have now in Aso Rock is from Niger Republic. His name is Yusuf Abubakar Muhammad. That's his name. Yusuf Abubakar Muhammad. Even Shekau knows who he is personally and was mentioning his name as well. It is not Buhari.
About your love tonight, today, and always. I know it's hard sometimes and you can get discouraged, but when it seems as though our working lives are keeping us apart, put your trust in me, baby, don't you are ready. And it won't be long now, so it must be strong. There were times I know I let you down so badly. I never knew then what losing your love would mean to me. As for anything, I give it to you gladly, because you're part of me now, and you must believe that. If you're hurt, I'm hurting too, and I'm thinking about your love. Someone to care, I'll be there. You should know I'll never change, 'cause I'm thinking about your love tonight, today, and always.
I don't suffer, no be small. But say I get sense. Poverty no good at all. Now it make I join this business. For one night, no be cheap. It's once again, everybody can pay up. If anybody follow Mugu, my brother, Chopper. National Airport, National Stadium, President, my sister, brother.
Karka bari su kashe maka sanda kake nema ba mai taya maka ruwa na dukan ka su ko suna daka in baka ci ba su ci maka kai da kudin ka kana haka abu ma sai an saya maka in ka samu kawai ka kashe kutuma bura uba yau akwai bura uba ban balaga ba amma sai jaraba in abincin akwai dadi sai na daba kutuma bura uba yau akwai bura uba ban balaga ba amma sai jaraba in abincin akwai dadi sai na daba wayo Allah na wayo Allah na wayo Allah
And there it is right there. Amunishe. So, Olone Jekashi. So, for those who know, then you know. So Oloma Jekashi. So and all that. Good day to you. Good to be in your company and all that. Yes, another. You know, we'll be getting this with increasing frequency. We'll be getting this with increasing frequency, these midday streams, because there's just so much happening within the political landscape that is an impossibility to get it into our mainstream, which is the evening streams. So we'll be getting these single issue snapshot streams for for issues that are especially pertinent to the goings on within the political paradigm. So we're getting these midday streams. We're getting a lot of them, and we'll be getting them with some. There'll be no. It will not be like a predictable schedule, but not that it will be happening every day. It will be happening. Dictated by my by my what is this by my schedule, dictated by my schedule and the news cycle. So these midday streams will be dictated by that, but there's somewhat of a predictability to the latter sessions which will remain consistent. But there's just so much of an abundance within the political cycle right now that necessarily we have to do the midday stream. Good day to you and all that. Good afternoon. Afternoon where I am, so I have to greet you to the tempo of my time zone. So good afternoon and all that. Our protocol remains the same. Click on the like button. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. There's a hyperlink in the comment section that says StreamYard. If you want to come and join me on the stream, share the links just as widely as you can. So those four go-to spaces, go to them. So those four go-to spaces that I've just now described, that I've not now requested, go to them. Click on like, click on subscribe. That's if you're not already subscribed. Share the links on your copy the URL of the links and put them in your WhatsApp groups, your Facebook groups, those places you go to on Instagram, all of those places, spread them just as widely as you can. And then, of course, click on the, if you want to come and join me on the screen, then you know what to do. Click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard. So all those things. So we're still very much in the throes. So, they often use it's a well-worn and overused phrase, game changer. But the death of Buhari is very much a game changer within the Nigerian political paradigm, especially within the fiercely fourth journey to 2027. So the death of Buhari is a moment in time that changes the direction of travel of the country. But in which direction does it change it to? That's where the question is. So who is the winner and who is the loser from the death of Buhari? Nobody really cares about Buhari dying because he was an extremely nasty man. So nobody, I was asking the question yesterday actually from the panel that is it rest in peace for Buhari or rot in hell? So I was asking that question of the panelists, but I never got to answer that question myself. For myself, it is categorically and without equivocation rot in hell. It was an extremely evil man. But the evil passes, but where does his legacy go? That's the question. So we're going to be reacting then now to a media outing by Malam Buhari's foremost spokesperson, Garba Shehu, who was traversing the media space just a couple of days ago. So this is pre-Buhari dying because I think Garba Shehu, he has written his memoirs, and often the case, whenever these characters write their memoirs, they traverse the media landscape in order then to sensitize to the memoirs, and they say a lot of controversial things in order then to sell their books and draw attention to their memoirs. So we'll be reacting now to Garba Shehu traversing the media space to speak to the Buhari years. So let's just pick it up from here. The session will be lasting no more than 2 hours, but the whole of the time are mainly dedicated then to what Garba Shehu had to say. So we pick it up from here.
Muhammadu Buhari has done his part, and the legacy must be preserved. This is a country that forgets too often.
It's more than a book launch. It was a political roll call, a reunion of power players, and a spark for fresh controversy. Former presidential spokesman Garba Shehu launched his long-awaited memo. According to the president, lessons from a presidential spokesman's experience. From Vice President Atiku Abubakar to President Muhammadu Buhari, Garba Shehu's book offers rare insight into 2 decades of life at Nigeria's political center. But beyond the dignitaries and high praise, there were comments that triggered intense debate. One of the most striking moments yesterday came from former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, who reminded the crowd that President Buhari already had 12 million plus loyal votes before the 2015 coalition, and that only 3.2 million were added after APC was formed. Some see this as an indirect challenge to narrative surrounding President Tinubu's 2015 influence. Tonight, we go beyond the pages of the new book and beyond the headlines. Mr. Garba Shehu joins me on the program to explore all of this development. Congratulations on your book launch and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity, and I wish you the same.
Well, glad to have you on the show again. This isn't the first book on Buhari's presidency. Your colleague Femi Adesina gave his own account not long ago. Why do you feel the need to write your version now, 2 years after President Buhari left office?
Well, two things. One is that there can never be too many books on a presidency that spanned over 8 years. I think at the event yesterday, someone did mention Professor Gambari said.
Just as an aside, and I promise not to interrupt it or interject it too much, but look at the opulence of the surroundings of this barely literate malam from the north. Just look at, you know, those are, that couch is sitting on. Those are Italian couches imported from Italy, and you can see the backdrop, all of the opulence of it. Countless big millions of dollars stolen by this guy over the last 8 years.
1,500 books had been written on one of the American presidents. So we want to write about Buhari so that the legacies he left behind will be preserved, so that there will be knowledge about what he did in those 8 years. And those of us who had the privilege of being around him for 8 years, up close, we need to bring him to the people of Nigeria, let them have a better understanding of the kind of person he is. But besides this, it is also important that being given the privilege to rise and go to the highest level of government and to serve, let us bring our experiences to younger people, students of journalism, public relations, and even those senior journalists and media workers who will find themselves in similar positions as we had. In which case, then they might find those things that we did well, they'll be beneficial to them. The mistakes that we made, they can learn from them and make their own corrections.
So you have said that it's not just a biography, but a guide for young journalists. But let's be honest, Mr. Shehu, some see it as a reputation management exercise. Are you still laundering your principal's image?
Am I still, you have to repeat that.
Well, I'm asking if you are still very active in...
Yes, the English is beyond Garba Shehu's comprehension, but the question is probably yet one of the most intelligent questions that I've yet heard asked by a Nigerian journalist. So what he's asking is, look, forget all of the nonsense. Buhari was a demon, and don't try and rebrand him. That's essentially what that journalist was saying.
In the image-making business for President Buhari, is that what this book is all about?
Sure, it is correct to say that, yes, that I am his official spokesperson as we speak now.
Oh, so I saw an interview where you said at some point you were walking on eggshells because some saw you as an Atiku man and that you didn't criticize Atiku because it would have sent a wrong message to President Buhari. What was it like switching allegiance that fast? Were you caught in a loyalty conflict?
No, it was not a loyalty conflict. But, and this thing about working eggs has actually had absolutely nothing had nothing to do with President Muhammadu Buhari, whose confidence and the trust I enjoyed throughout these 8 years that I worked with him. But you know, in politics, anything happens. The courtiers around power can do so many things that can destabilize unauthorized things, and so what we are saying is that there were some of them there who still saw you from where you came from, that you had worked.
And by the way, that's Muhammadu Buhari right there. Curiously, Chioma described this guy as handsome yesterday. And this mole on his, just below his lips, that's been there for ages. for all of the monies that is stolen. I wonder why he never had that removed.
With Atiku, and they think that you are not good enough, that kind of thing. However, as I had enjoyed absolute support and absolute confidence of the president while I worked with him.
Interesting way you have put it, and I've heard that narrative as well. But what's your current relationship like right now with Abubakar, with Atiku Abubakar? I see that he was physically present at your launch yesterday.
Don't be surprised, by the way, when you see, if or when you see Garba Shehu as now the official spokesperson of Atiku Abubakar. So just to be clear, the guy you are seeing being interviewed there, Garba Shehu, as you all know, was the spokesperson of Buhari for 8 years. But before he became the spokesperson of Buhari for 8 years, he had a job already, and that job was being the spokesperson of Atiku Abubakar. So don't be surprised then when you see this mala on your screen. Go back to his vomit.
He was my boss in the second term of President Olusegun Obasanjo, and we didn't just part with him because we didn't like one another or there was a conflict. When Muhammadu Buhari won the primaries, all of the candidates in that election said, we are handing over our media assets to go and help you to win, including media assets of President Bola Ashwaju Tinubu. So we were assembled to work with Buhari and we won the election. And after we won, he said, please come and serve in my government. I served with Atiku Abubakar. It is culturally unacceptable to some of us. It may be acceptable to some. I remember I also learned an important lesson from the late Duro Onabule. Duro Onabule was MKO Abiola's right-hand man. And Onabule, as editor in Concord and all of that. And he was working with the President Babangida until things fell apart, the annulment. And so, for one day, did you ever hear Duro Onabule go against MKO Abiola? And if he
so there it is. Blame his lack of moral compass or fiber on a Yoruba man. So that's typical of an Aboki, isn't it?
He did. And as he advised me when I was assuming this office, what would Buhari have thought of me if I went on attack against Atiku? He would then assume that his day will one day come and I will also be on attack against him.
It's just that 8 years after working for President Buhari, you did not return to Atiku Abubakar. You're still with him. I'm wondering if you're aware that he intends to run for presidency in 2027.
The fact is, the money has already been made. If you look through Garba Shehu's history, it probably comes from some dusty backwater in the back of Beyond, in the north of nothing, in the north. It probably comes from a dusty backwater in the back of Beyond, somewhere in the north, and his destiny would have just been following cattle around and harassing people in the south. That could have been his journey in life, but fortuitously, maybe his parents had enough of intellect to guide him through an education. So he's learned to speak English, and there he is now following a different path in life. So don't have any grand expectations of this guy other than an understanding of what he is. He's just an aboki that speaks English.
Perhaps your services might still be needed. Do you still concede that? Because sometimes when you look at all of these details, switching camps, Dana Bwala also moved from defending Atiku to embracing Tinubu. It has raised conversations about the fluidity or fragility of political loyalty in Nigeria. Will you, for instance, work again for Atiku, as it runs in 2027?
Let me tell you, if you have integrity, I'm not pretending that I have. People should judge for themselves. I think a man should serve only one master at a time.
I am glad that he said that he's not pretending as though he has, because he has a lot of things. Integrity is not one of them. The politics of Atiku Abubakar is in sharp, violent, diametric contrast with the politics of Buhari. Buhari is a people's, at least the presentation of his public profile. Buhari is a thief as well, of course. But the presentation of Buhari's public profile is a Spartan, a religious, pious man of the people sort of politician. The presentation, the public profile of Atiku Abubakar is a venture capitalist, a financial hawk, an oligarch, an elitist sort of politician who is there to stay with the rich and vest upon the poor. So there's a sharp and violent contrast between the politics of Atiku and the politics of Malam Buhari. So for this guy now to speak of integrity, he haven't served uh, the two sharpest contrast in the political divide, which is to tell you then that this guy just goes with wherever the traction is. It's just in there for the dollars.
You cannot serve two masters at the same time. Otherwise, you are deceiving yourself or you are deceiving them.
Which master are you serving right now?
I'm with Muhammadu Buhari.
Okay. And you don't see that change in the nearest future, let's say in the next 2 years?
I don't want to be speculative on anything. God knows what happens tomorrow. However, what I'm saying is that if you are looking to make an example of me with some of the characters you just mentioned a short while ago, I am not in that mold. As a matter of fact, when I speak for Buhari these days, I do so out of a commitment to a leader who gave me his absolute trust. And I feel that he needs my support. Otherwise, I would have done as many others did, walk away and start something else. But I'm happy that I'm still on his side. He doesn't need much of what we used to do in there. He's not as active politically as you had before, certainly not as president. So that even the statements we make on his behalf, you can see that they are very occasional and specific. We don't want to meddle into, otherwise people will think that there are two presidents in the country. No, the president of the country at the moment is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the President Muhammadu Buhari will not be contesting the space with him.
But both of them belong to the same political party, so it is expected that the former president provides some sort of big brother role to the current president. I'd like to get your take on how you think President Tinubu's spokespersons are doing right now. There are three of them. You have been in their shoes before. Looking back, how are they faring on the job?
No, please don't drag me into that one. All of them, Sunday Dare, Bayo Onanuga, Daniel, and Tunde Rahman, and Abdulaziz, all of them have been my friends over the years. And for God's sake, we belong to the same political party and the same government. So if I have an advice for them, I and them will go into a room and lock ourselves into that room and speak truth to one another. No, it's not for me to go on television to begin to assess or advise them. I will do so privately.
Have you had such episodes where you've had to call them behind closed doors to speak truth to them?
And also, there's nothing that qualifies somebody like Garba Shehu to assess anybody. He doesn't have the training. We saw the presentation, both him and Femi Adesina, we saw their presentation under Buhari. It was the worst we've ever yet seen in the history of presidential spokesmanship. So there's nothing that qualifies Garba Shehu to advise. He can advise them on how not to do it, but he certainly cannot advise anybody on how to do it.
I speak to virtually all of them on matters of common interest. We maintain communication between ourselves, and I commend them for remaining open to me whenever I call. They pick my calls.
Beyond the new book you have launched, I'm sure you're aware that the launch yesterday is already cutting some controversy, especially the statement made by the former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, who mentioned that it was his recommendation that culminated into your appointment as spokesperson. He specifically mentioned that President Buhari already had about 12 million plus votes before the 2015 coalition, and that the merger only added 3.2 million to him. That's being read as an attempt to.
All right. So that comment, of course, that the host is referencing is a comment by Boss Mustafa, who is trying to water down the impact of Bola Tinubu on the emergence of Buhari as the president. So just for the backdrop, what Boss Mustafa came out in the media space to say was that the Buhari already had 12 million votes anyway, but the additional 3 million votes that tipped him into the presidency was added by a coalition of other parties that joined in to form the Juggernaut APC. So it's not necessarily the attribution of one man, because of course a lot of people attribute the emergence of Buhari to Tinubu. So what Boss Mustafa was trying to achieve in his last media outing is to water down then the impact of Tinubu, to tell us then that Buhari would have won anyway, Tinubu irrespective. So that's the backdrop to the question that the host is asking. This bookie on the screen right here.
Controversy, especially the statement made by the former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, who mentioned that it was his recommendation that culminated into your appointment as spokesperson. He specifically mentioned that President Buhari already had about 12 million plus votes before the 2015 coalition, and that the merger only added 3.2 million to him. That's being read as an attempt to downplay President Tinubu's contribution. I'm sure you're following all of the headlines that followed this morning. Do you agree with that reading?
No, absolutely no. Look, let me see. There's a lot of mischief in these things and sensationalism on the part of journalists. The speech by the former Secretary to the Government of the Federation is currently running on YouTube, and listen to it. He did not at any point mention Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In fact, in some of the stories that I have seen on TV are so downright condemnatory of President Tinubu, that he had done nothing of substance to support Buhari in 2015, that he played.
And by the way, whatever it is that Garba Shehu has to say, you can read that you can listen to him in the accentuation of Malam Buhari, because it's his most trusted voice within the Nigerian space. So whatever Garba Shehu is saying is what has been agreed by his master Buhari to say. So you vest more credence in the utterances of Garba Shehu than you would anybody else that purports or portends to speak on behalf of Buhari, because he's in lockstep with whatever the views of Buhari is. And some of the reasons for him coming out now is to counterweight now this attempt now to water down the contribution of Tinubu, because of course Boss Mustafa, he has come out to make those comments on his journey to join Atiku Abubakar in the northern conspiratorial coalition to unseat a southern president. So this is Buhari then essentially saying that no, I am still loyal to this guy that gave me the presidency.
Do you agree with that reading?
No, absolutely no. Look, let me see. There's a lot of mischief in these things and sensationalism on the part of journalists. the speech by the former secretary to the government of the Federation is currently running on YouTube, and listen to it. He did not at any point mention Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In fact, in some of the stories that I have seen on TV are so downright condemnatory of President Tinubu, that he had done nothing of substance to support Buhari in 2015, that he played no role in all of that. That's absolute rubbish. The thing Boss Mustafa was trying to point at is that statistically and arithmetically, this is how the votes were assembled. And I've seen someone from the presidency, although he didn't speak in a manner that was angry, trying to say, well, the primary was won because Tinubu had come in. And I was saying to myself, these two gentlemen, Boss Mustafa and the guy from the president, one is saying this is 6, the other one is saying this is half a dozen. It's the same story. Buhari himself had said many times, I ran once, second and third times, I did not get it. It is the merger that we had that brought all of us together that made me win the presidency. And to be fair to Boss Mustafa, if the reporters who casted these nasty headlines would go back to what he said about 3 times, what I'm going to say may create controversy. The merger was formulated for Buhari presidency. It was formulated to prosecute Buhari presidency. What's to that effect? So it is not in doubt that partners came together and put together a party that was now in a position to challenge PDP after 16 years and won the election. Nobody is denying anybody any role.
I agree with you to an extent.
It's also important that sometimes we moderate the language in which we speak as politicians. I'm not saying this of Boss Mustafa. I'm saying
yes,
some of the people that run around politicians, everyone had played a role in accordance with the positions that they held at that time. We won the election and we ran government for 8 years, and our party won yet again, and we're in office. We hope for another 8 years.
I agree with you that there was a bit of sensationalism. I don't think the former SGF even mentioned President Tinubu at all during the speech, but people are reading meanings to the fact that he said.
But it doesn't have to reference Tinubu. That's the thing. It doesn't have to mention Tinubu. That's the thing. It was. It referenced him quite clearly, and the whole of the Boss Mustafa outing was a pointed assault of the against the Tinubu legacy. So that's essentially Boss Mustafa indicating then that he was now with the opposition space. So that's really more the narrative. He tried to water down the contribution of Tinubu to the emergence of Buhari as the president. But if you removed Tinubu from the Buhari equation, then Buhari would not be president. We would have had Goodluck Jonathan. He would have been succeeded by another northerner, and would now be in the throes of his electing another southerner to replace that northerner now. So the one thing that changed the direction, the trajectory of the Nigerian political landscape 2015 was the alliance that Tinubu decided to form with Buhari. He formed that alliance. We all saw the meetings when they were meeting all over London and whatnot. Everybody saw that. You are all old enough to have memories still of those images of when they were meeting in London 2014, 2015. So we all saw that. Tinubu formulated that alliance. He formulated a coalition, a coalesced, a converged. He put together the APC, and then he pushed Buhari into that space because he knew that Buhari had a cult following in the north, and he knew the strength that he had in the southwest, especially, and he knew that the combination of those two would be unsurmountable, would be too much for Goodluck Jonathan, and that was how it played out. It was and Tinubu also was the campaign organizer, the orchestrator, the lead person of the 2015-2019 Buhari elections. So there is nothing. It's all played out in public glare now. So there is absolutely categorically no way to diminish the contribution of Tinubu to the emergence of Buhari as the president. If you removed Tinubu, Buhari would never be president. Buhari had even given up in. Let me play you this actually. Let me play you this clip. Buhari had given up on any thought of ever being the president until Tinubu went to meet him and said, "No, you run. I will use you to force this guy out, but you have to hand over to me." And Tinubu said so as far back as 2023.
tí ò bá sí àwa èmi tí ń dúró wájú yìí tí ń lérí ogun tí ní òkè Buhari nìṣó ká máa bá lọ. Kò lè di president. Ó ṣe kìíní olùlẹ̀, ó ṣe kejì olùlẹ̀, ó ṣe kẹta olùlẹ̀. Ó tiẹ̀ sunkún lórí tẹlifíṣàn pé láyé òun ò tún rán mọ́. Mo dẹ̀ lọ bá ń Kaduna wa rán ọ̀rọ̀ ẹkún kọ́ lélẹ̀. Àdúró tiẹ̀ wàá dẹ̀ wọlé. Nǹkan kan ní pé o ò ní fọ̀rọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá ṣeré. Ó dẹ̀ gbà. Àtijọ́ tó rẹ̀ ti débẹ̀, mi ò gba mínísítà, mi ò gba contract, mi ì tọrọ ọbẹ̀, mi ì tọrọ gàrí, mi ì tọrọ fúra lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, mi ì dẹ̀ yàwó ń bẹ̀. Ó wá ní lọ́tẹ̀ yìí o, Yorùbá ló kàn. Tá a bá dẹ̀ sa Yorùbá náà, èmi ló kàn.
So that was Tinubu right there in the famous or infamous, however you're choosing to look at it, public outburst in Abeokuta, telling us then the journey of Buhari to the presidency. He said Buhari had tried 3 times and fallen at the final hurdle, and that Tinubu then went to meet him in Kaduna and said, and that Buhari was crying on television as well. He threw that acerbic remark as well. And then he then went on to say that, look, he then went to meet him in Kaduna and said, look, and Buhari had vowed after he was crying on television that he would never run to be the Nigerian president again. Tinubu then told us that he went to meet him in Kaduna, and Buhari lives in Kaduna more so than Daura, because Kaduna is a more civilized space. For all of his 8 years in the office, he never bothered to do anything about his region. Actually, I'm going to play you a clip. I'm going to play you a clip. Let me just find it as I'm talking now. I'm going to play you a clip if I can. I thought I had it saved. If I do have it saved, I'll play it to you. There's a particular clip that was quite interesting that struck me when I saw it. Okay. I don't think. Hold on. Okay. Maybe I'll play it to you in the. Yeah. Oh yes. Let me play you this clip actually. Buhari did nothing for his region. So this is a clip of Daura yesterday. This is Daura, of course, the hometown of Malam Buhari. So that's Daura right there, the hometown of Malam Buhari, and you can hear quite distinctly the populace of that space jubilating. Buhari Yamutu is what they were chanting. But I digress. So Tinubu went to meet Buhari in Kaduna and told him that, look, you don't have to be crying on television. I will make you president. But the one thing that you must not do is to toy with the Yoruba people. And that was when that was why then, when Buhari became the president, he appointed a whole raft of Yoruba people, even giving Fashola about 3-5 portfolios, all of them the most preeminent portfolios, the most important portfolios within his administration, as at least in his first term. So there's no gainsaying. It is beyond equivocation that Tinubu made Buhari president. If single-handedly, by the way, because if you removed the Tinubu factor, Buhari would not be president, and that was the extent of his impact on how Buhari emerged as president. So, Boss Mustafa talking shit.
The coalition brought only 3.2 million, suggesting that Buhari came into that contest with all of the votes that he needed. But do you think personally that your boss would have won without the Tinubu support in 2023?
No, it's not for me. Let me say this. I don't want to be dragged into the ring and be a contestant as well. Can I make myself clear? President Muhammadu Buhari won once. He contested 1, 2, 3 times, and although he had large number of votes, 12.7 in the first instance, 6.6 because the election results were written in that year. But he came back and got, in the third time, 12.2 million votes. The question to say, did he have the national interest, the national spread to have won the election? I would say no. And did the merger bring states in the south that helped him to achieve 25% as prescribed by the Constitution? Yes, it did.
Your book launch is coming at a very interesting time in our political history as a nation. You are quite close to many of President Buhari cabinet members. I'm wondering what you make of that recent rush of Buhari loyalists into the coalition called the ADC.
Oh, is there a rush going on? I'm not aware there is a rush.
Well, I can count that from the top of my head about 5 of them that we saw at that announcement party.
So you are talking about, if you are talking about the ministers, President Buhari had a cabinet of about 40 or so. If 5 take an exit, would you say that there is a rush? Let me say this. From the point of view of, I think that my understanding of Muhammadu Buhari, he doesn't act like a sergeant major or whatever they call them in the military. He is not an enforcer who will call people and sit them down and say, you must do this political action, not this other political action. Even as he was president, I'm sure you recall that we had very interesting incidents in at least 2 states that I can recall. Imo State, where Governor Rochas Okorocha did something that was different from what the APC was doing. And in Ogun State, we also had Senator Amosun, with the APM, or whatever they called that political party. They were still President Buhari's friends. They came to his house and they had meetings and they discussed governance and the party issues. So let me say this, that please, individuals may choose to act contrary to what Muhammadu Buhari stands for. It's normal. We are not dictators. So we shouldn't get rattled because 1 or 2 have said they are going somewhere. But others are also coming into the party. You can see that, can't you?
I do, but you are close to President Buhari.
The one thing that is worthy of note is that Buhari never pointedly endorsed the Atiku coalition, the Atiku El-Rufai movement in the course of his life. In fact, quite the contrary, he's always said that he's loyal to his party. So that's one thing that is worthy of note. So for all of the veneer of it, for all of the overarch, essentially Buhari stayed loyal to his party, which is then to say that he stayed loyal to Tinubu till his last breath. And this is essentially what's been expanded on by Garba Shehu.
And Nigerians are curious, just to know how he really feels about this presidency. Has he been in touch with President Tinubu? Is he supportive of his policies? bring us into what you know about how it feels about this administration.
Let me say this. We have said this over and over again, and I'm not sure it will make sense that one keeps repeating oneself. President Muhammadu Buhari is an APC member. The first and last conversations I had with him clearly indicate that he's grateful to the party that gave him 2 terms in office after he had tried 1, 2, 3 times without success. He will not betray his political party. President Tinubu is
and there he is right there. So that's an endorsement of Tinubu and a rejection of the Peter Obi article Gbadue attempts.
APC president. President Buhari is an APC member. The thing that most people don't know is that leaders at that level, when they talk to one another, and this is not just in Nigeria, even in America, the level of conversation and dialogue taking place between serving and the former presidents is only known to them. We don't know. But from all that I know that President Muhammadu Buhari is an APC member, and the president of the party is a member of his party, and he has a duty to support him, and he's been doing this.
Now, the reason why we're raising this again, and you are a veteran journalist yourself, you are aware of what's on the news, the fact that there are some perceptions and some corners that your principal may not support another Tinubu presidency in 2027, or even worse, blessing the opposition. What can you honestly tell us about that?
Yeah, it's already answered. The most honest opinion, the most honest position is a visceral reaction. When you say something to somebody and they say what or something, or they just react viscerally, just from the core of their essence. So that's probably the most honest that you would get of a reaction, just an instinctual reaction to what's being presented, which then speaks to the position that that person's holds fundamentally. So a visceral reaction to a position that's been presented, which then speaks to a position that that person holds within the core of their being. So as the journalist struggles to complete the question before Garba Shehu gives his response, Garba Shehu could not wait for that question to complete before he has a visceral reaction to it. So watch this.
There are some perceptions and some corners that your principal may not support another Tinubu presidency in 2027, or even worse, blessing.
You see it right there? You see it right there? That is a total and a categorical rejection of the narrative that's been pasted all over the social media landscape by the social media president from Oka and the Batty boy from Zamfara State. Where is it from? Adamawa State.
In the opposition, what can you honestly tell us about that?
No, don't go there. Let them say whatever people want to say. They should allow President Buhari to speak for himself. Nobody can speak for him except himself.
So Babati Lawal, former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, another insider in the Buhari government, was on the show earlier this week. And he mentioned that some APC governors are secretly supporting the ADC. Is that something you're hearing too?
Well, maybe he attends.
Just as a pragmatic understanding of the landscape, that cannot necessarily be the case. It cannot be the case that an APC governor will be supporting the secretly or otherwise, overtly or covertly supporting the Atiku coalition with his lady boy Peter Obi speaking in his squeaky voice in the background. It's impossible for an APC governor to be supporting that. And why do I say that? It's not necessarily because they believe or do not believe in whatever it is that Atiku is putting together. You know, Buhari has always told us that corruption will fight back, and what you're seeing now with people like Rotimi Amechi, Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, Rauf Aregbesola, these are the public faces of looting in Nigeria. With them now forming a coalition to wrestle power. So this is what is a literal manifestation of that Buhari now statement that corruption will fight back. So this is corruption fighting back. But it doesn't serve the purpose of any sitting governor to back that coalition, or any governor or any political actor that has any prospects of any political future in the future. Because the PDP governors, especially the northern ones, they also know that there's a paradigm shift, there's a changing of guard that is about to happen within the political landscape. And that changing of guards is going to take place in 2031. So by 2031, all of these actors now, do you remember as far back as 2014? Do you remember we used to talk about Lamido, Sule, Aliyu, Babangida? These were all the actors in that 2014 thereabout. When they were forming this new PDP that will wrestle, they are now in the political graveyards, gone and forgotten, never to be heard of anymore. And so this is the deja vu of that experience then. So what we're seeing now is the last vestiges, the final throw of the dice, the last hurrah of these renegades and chancers and graduate merchants, Obi Atiku, Mechi, Aregbesola, etc., etc. So everybody knows that this is their last throw. This is their final desperate thrust, lunge at an attempt. So, and also the political actors know as well. The political actors, whether they rate the Tinubu administration or not, the pragmatism of their political future necessarily lends to Tinubu finishing his 8-year term. Because by the time Tinubu finishes his 8-year term, the Peter Obi's political career is dead, because the power transits to the north, and even he, as jingoistically tribalistic and Okoro Okonkwo-ish that he is, even he cannot push to present a narrative that they should make him president in 2031. So the political actors with the political future, they all know that. Ditto Atiku Abubakar, they know that if Atiku Abubakar becomes president 2027, it essentially stymies their political life, their political career, their ambition. So the pragmatism of politics in the north, with all of the still the young thrusting talks of the northern hegemonic political landscape, the essentially the relevant northern political actors, for reasons of self ambition, would not really align with the Atiku Abubakar coalition, because the Atiku Abubakar coalition, it essentially puts an end to their political future, and that is the pragmatism of it.
Their meetings, and he knows what they are doing. I am not a party to any conversation with governors who are talking to ADC. And I assure you that when they do those meetings, they won't allow me to know that it is happening, because it will not be of interest to me.
So as we speak now, you are with the APC and you don't have plans of leaving, do you?
Where would I go to? Certainly, APC is our party. As I said, the principal, Muhammadu Buhari, is solidly APC, and we are with him. That's what I want to say.
Before we let you go, what's that one lesson you hope that every young journalist or media aide takes away from your book? Or what would you do differently also if you had to do it all over again?
There are so many of them. And I don't know maybe at what point you will stop me when I start. But the important thing is the journalist should realize that he himself is a messenger, is a representative of the public. And when he's out there interviewing people or knocking on doors, he is doing so on behalf of the larger public who have sent him or her to go and fetch story and bring back to them. Arrogance is not for a journalist.
Yeah, that's an acerbic remark towards their Rice TV platform, especially that little runs that mini Hitler or would be mini Hitler, the one that cannot get a girlfriend, age 51, Rufai Husseini.
We should behave, conduct ourselves with great deal of humility. And as I said somewhere, if you are speaking for a leader or even a manager of some government or public interest, don't feel too big to respond to public's questions. Answer the telephone, because the journalist that comes to you with a question, he is doing that big favor to you, which you must pick up. Because if you don't answer, if you don't talk to him or her,
All right.
that person will still go and talk to some other people. And those other people he talks to may be people who don't like you.
All right.
And they will say things that you don't like, and it will take you as a PR man maybe several months to clean up.
All right. This is the point where I stop you, Mr. Shehu, because we have completely run out of time. But I guess we'll pick a copy of your book to get more of your thoughts on this topic. A big thank you. Thank you so much for talking to us, Garba Shehu, from a spokesperson of former President Muhammadu.
All right, so that was essentially a case of Mala defending Mala. I sent the link again. Anybody that wants to come on. Only a micro moment I have before I have to bail. Like I said, we'll be capping these afternoon sessions no more than 2 hours. We got Pansata joining us. You there?
Yeah, one man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm surprised to see you here. Last time I let you in here, you just ruined the session completely.
I did what to it?
You ruined it in your usual manner. Is it the thing? Is it the strategy to try and subvert the platform? Is that what you guys have agreed, or what's going on?
Well, let me say hello to those in that comment section. And this platform doesn't really have any shape or form. It depends on who is on.
All right. I'm going to stop you there. Tell us about your criminal, because I've been having you looked at. Tell us about your criminal record. Why were you in prison?
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, don't be silly.
You
Tell us about your criminal record.
You just
and we'll
finished.
go on to your relationship with your son. Why is it estranged? But tell us through your criminal record.
Why are you making a fool out of yourself?
All right.
You introduce a topic. Let's talk about a topic.
I know you have no. You don't have the intellect to be in this space. I
Perhaps.
No, you don't. Because
you introduce a topic. Let's discuss it. That's why I'm here. Don't worry about everything else.
I worry about everything else because you diminish this platform with your presence.
The last program we did here was quite a fantastic show, right? We did have a couple of.
You were bullying your way through. Nobody got to talk. And as
that's
always
not true.
is the case, anytime you come here, you were trying to subvert the conversation.
That's not true.
That is not true.
But let's discuss the topic you have at hand. Stop.
You got 2 minutes.
Stop being rowdy. Right now, we have to obviously sympathize with Buhari's family.
Why?
Why would you? So he meant that. Please don't interrupt me.
Do you have any ingenuity? Is there any honesty to your being? You've come here to rile and lambast the guy for years on end. So why are you sympathetic? I cannot stand this. Just get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Apologies. Let me take you guys onto this clip. It's still in response to the Buhari thing. This is Abubakar Malami. So now the scramble for whoever succeeds Buhari is a food. It's in the fullness of the throat of it. And here is Abubakar Malami now, trying to very quickly move into that space.
You saw on your television, 1942 to 2025, announced to have died in a London clinic earlier today. But those who know him very well, and we'll be hearing from a few of them tonight, let me first and foremost get Mr. Femi Adesina, who was a spokesperson for the 8 years that the president was in office. He's live for us from Lagos. Mr. Adesina, thank you so much indeed. What a day, and our condolences to all the Buhari family and to the nation. How does this come to you? As far as
All right. I don't really want to gather the thoughts of Femi Adesina. Is really Abubakar Malami, of course, the Luther, former Attorney General of the Federation. He dialed in to that interview with that Shenwa Kimbaloye was having with that Yoruba man, Femi Adesina and all that. And this is so. I really wanted to react to the Abubakar Malami contribution to that conversation.
Abubakar Malami, I understand that he's back with us on the telephone line. Mr. Malami, if you can hear me now, what are your thoughts tonight about the passing on of the former President Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, for me, it is indeed a sad loss of a father, a mentor, and indeed a statesman par excellence. As far as President Buhari is concerned, he was indeed a towering figure whose life was defined by service and sacrifice. Sacrifice and service that are flavored by integrity. You know, in my own case, he was indeed my mentor, my father, and indeed someone from whom I learned a lot, both in terms of leadership, in terms of life, and in terms of social engagement, among others. He was no doubt a symbol of integrity, transparency, patriotism, and uncompromising honesty, and that is the legacy I believe he left behind unquestionably.
You know, I'm not quite sure how these people are able to, in all looking themselves in the mirror, say, what is a figure of transparency, honesty, and integrity? This is a guy. Do you remember under Buhari that snakes were swallowing money with no recourse? This guy was looting money hand over fist with no recourse. Do you remember Hidi Sarika, the Minister of Aviation, that borrowed a plane from Ethiopian Airline and used that to steal about $250 million? So that, and he, of course, do you know that Hidi Sirika, the former Minister of Aviation, is Aisha Buhari's cousin? So a friends and family administration that was just there to steal just as much as they could carry.
But what would you say that the Buhari that you worked with, because he got a lot of legal advice and direction as to issues relating to law and legality from you, even from the CPC days, and you are regarded as one of those within his inner circle. In fact, you were regarded as one of the cabals, the Buhari cabals. What was it like working so closely with the Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, I think the major consideration as far as the leadership of Buhari is concerned is what is it that is on table, both in terms of delivery, of service.
So where I really want us to get to in this conversation is where Abubakar Malami speaks on who inherits then the Buhari followership. So he's dialed in, he's phoned into this conversation that Shenwa Kimbaloye is having with Femi Adesina, in order then to move very quickly. You know, they call it a first mover advantage. So he wants to make really the first incursions into that Buhari followership, and he wanted to start to craft the narrative then on the direction of of travel or the direction of grab of the Buhari followership. So that's essentially the purpose of his call. But of course, he has to do the usual Buhari was XYZ before he really gets into the meat of why it's there.
In terms of transparency, in terms of accountability, and national development of the Nigerian state. I believe the fact is not in doubt that Buhari fought corruption beyond any, beyond any compromise. When the fight against corruption is concerned, he has been internationally recognized as a towering figure, a figure that has been acknowledged and indeed recognized by African Union as a champion of the fight against corruption. That in its own right has established a point that as far as fight against corruption is concerned, Buhari has indeed been internationally acclaimed. When you talk of infrastructure as far as the Nigerian state is concerned, the fact remains established that Buhari has succeeded where a lot of other former presidents of the Nigerian state failed. When you talk of Second Niger Bridge, he takes the credit. When you talk of Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, he takes the credit. When you talk of Abuja-Kano Expressway, he has the credit as well. And when you talk of international economic development as well, he stands as a singular president that saved the Nigerian state the collapse of the national economy by way of saving Nigeria from what could have been an economic disaster, assuming the case against Nigeria related to P&ID had succeeded in taking away over $11 billion out of the Nigerian economy. So by whatever parameters you look at it, Buhari was exceptional in leadership. If you talk of transparency, accountability, his records are clear, distinct.
Mr. Malami, yes. Politically speaking, and you are of the CPC block of the APC. Well, I understand now that you moved out of the CPC, but I mean from the APC. But the 12 million constant votes that Buhari backs at every election probably had gone to the, would be going to the grave with him. Who is going to be the replacement politically in that?
You see, as far as politics is concerned, the equation is an equation that you cannot predict with precision. But the fact remains that Buhari left behind a legacy, and that legacy is a legacy of service. So I believe among the legacies Buhari will leave behind is the legacy of the 12 million votes, taking into consideration that they are votes that are rooted in service, they are rooted in transparency, accountability, and above all, a sacrifice to the national development. So if indeed there are people that are, any of his disciples fit into this characteristic, the possibility of perhaps maybe inheriting the 12 million votes could be there. You cannot rule out the possibility that the 12 million votes are part of the legacies that Buhari left behind.
Well, how much of a miss would the Buhari's death be, not only for Nigeria?
Oh, I was hopeful that he will press him on that 12 million votes.
Or perhaps maybe in
yes, because we need clarity. Nobody really cares that Buhari has died. It was a detestable sort of a character. But what people do care about is what happens subsequently to his followership. So that is really where Shehu came back. Shehu is a very poor journalist anyway. He's an average intelligence who's just there to be a pleasant, acceptable face rather than a punch. But it should have pushed him more.
Inheriting the 12 million votes could be there. You cannot rule out the possibility that the 12 million votes are part of the legacies that Buhari left behind.
Well, how much of a miss would the Buhari's death be, not only for Nigeria, for the APC, and for Katsina State specifically?
Well, the death, indeed, it is a colossal loss, not only to Nigeria, but internationally. Because this Buhari, as you can rightly conclude, is indeed a symbol of transparency, a symbol of integrity, a symbol of patriotism, and a symbol of uncompromising honesty. So taking into consideration these characteristics that are unique and exceptional about Buhari, the fact that Buhari is gone will certainly leave behind a clear vacuum as far as these characters are concerned. These are exceptional and unique characteristics of Buhari are concerned. It is indeed a sad loss, not only to the family members, but indeed to Katsina State and the Nigeria as a whole. And internationally, as you rightly know, because he has been acclaimed internationally and acknowledged as an exceptional figure that embodies integrity, transparency, and accountability.
Mr. Abubakar Malami, former Attorney General of the Federation, thank you for your thoughts.
So now that was Abubakar Malami making the first move then into the Malam Buhari space, the legacy or lack thereof that's the Mala from the north left behind. The link is in the comment section. If anybody wants to share thoughts, come share it now. I'll play you just I'll play you. What do I want to play you? I'll play you a clip from a 2-minute clip from Yemi Oshibanjo, and then a little bit of music. So I'll give a window for just about 5 more minutes, and then if nobody comes in, then we'll shut it down, meet later. But let's go to this now. This is still the book launch of Garba Shehu. And by the way, he had a stellar guest turning up for that book launch, Garba Shehu. Gowon was there, the former vice president, a whole raft of the not so great and not so good all turned up. But let's just have a little flavor of then what Yemi Oshibanjo made of the occasion, and then I'll play you just like about a minute song, and then we'll call it a day.
Muhammadu Buhari, as a man whose leadership stood on the pillars of integrity, accountability, and patriotism, President Tinubu was represented by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Judge Akume, at the book launch of According to the President by the former Senior Special Assistant Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu. Senior reporter Ademola Lawrence was there.
The book, authored by Garba Shehu, former Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity to Muhammadu Buhari, chronicles his journey as the presidential spokesperson during one of Nigeria's most defining democratic periods.
As a human being,
from recounting backroom political negotiations to managing national crises from the Villa's press room, Shehu gives an insider perspective into 8 years of presidential power, decisions, and legacy building.
Muhammadu Buhari has done his part, and the legacy must be preserved. This is a country that forgets too often. We are bedeviled by amnesia. The moment you go, they forget about you and they move on. So we must continue to preserve the legacy and keep the records of former leaders.
Indeed, this book is a blueprint or roadmap to the present and future presidential aides on how to relate and defend the action of policies of the president.
He says categorically that he set out to write not an autobiography, but a textbook for those who will in the future be media advisors and practitioners in the prestigious but often difficult, sometimes treacherous terrain of politics and governance at the highest levels.
It offers key lessons on leadership communication, governance under pressure, and intersection between power.
So that was not Femi Adesina. That was Yemi Oshibanjo at the Garba Shehu book launch. So we got Talk Now joining us just at the last moment. So Talk Now, we're just reacting to Garba Shehu eulogizing about his Lord and Master, now departed Malam Buhari. So either to the Garba Shehu or the passing of Buhari, you've not yet documented your thoughts on the Buhari passing. Good to have you. Talk Now.
One man.
Okay, pata.
How you doing, sir?
I do.
Yeah. I think earlier there was some authentication with the Pansat.
No.
No.
People have highlighted to me that there's a surreptitious sort of goings on with these elements, especially from the southeast, but within the obedience cause, trying to subvert this platform. So a few people have been highlighting that to me over a period of time, and I've started to pay attention now, and I'm starting to pick it up on. And that guy, that element right there, is the arrowhead of that movement. But there are quite a few of them. So
Oh, wow.
we're going to clean some of that up. But to
Hmm.
you, your thoughts.
Wow. Okay. I just want to suggest that so we don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. So we try and balance it the best way you can. I mean, I trust you. I mean, you are like a pseudo journalist in that sense. So sometimes we need to allow dissenting voices because there are some good guys. Mekene, there are a couple of them that have been with you for a while.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about the Kenneth, the Jaws of Nashville, who come
Yeah.
here with an honest view that they
Mm,
hold a contrary view. But
yeah.
I'm talking about especially people like Pansat, and there's one other name. They're just two characters. I'm not going to tell you the other one. I could tell you in private chat. But
Mm,
there are two characters that they seem to be especially on a subversive mission which
mm,
has been identified. I didn't even pay attention because I just open it up. I say, oh, but people have been highlighting it to me, and I've started to pick up on it as well. There's especially two characters that old boy that just left, and one other
oh,
guy. But yeah, so it's just two characters that I'm especially looking to cleanse the place of.
hmm. Interesting. All right. Let's move to the politics of the day. The passing away of two major people. These two major people are close to the president. I know the other one is like a king. He's been there for a while. That's Obasikiru Adetono. That's the Awujale himself. And then the ex-president, President Muhammadu Buhari. Whether we like it or not, leaders will have their faults. The fact that, may his soul rest in peace, he has done his bit. I mean, this was a man that was praised when he was in the military during the days of Idiagbon Buhari's time. Of course, at that time, he had his own faults. He was seen as being too harsh at that time. But he did a couple of things. So there were some, we had a little bit of a problem where somewhat, somewhat indiscipline. It kind of brought some level of discipline, cutting corruption and all that. Later, after I think he was before that, I think he was in charge of the northern part of Nigeria, and he did his bit from refinery that we
He
had
was
to
the governor of Borno State at a point in time. I'm not
at a
sure if
point in time. Yes, even the so-called Kaduna refinery, he pushed for it, and he did that at his time. Then I mean, I remember clearly when my uncle was telling me a bit about him or the things he did. That's why the North liked him. Forget about some of those things that happened yesterday when they brought him small children, Alamanjeris, screaming about him not being a good leader or somewhat. In the North, is a strong force. And I mean, bringing him back as a civilian, it's not the same thing. When you're a military person, you just call the shots. As a civilian, you have to imbibe the democratic values. That's a tough one for him. I felt that it was a tough one for him. He wanted to come back to make changes, but somewhat to make changes you as in democracy is tough because you have a lot of levels to deal with. You have the judiciary, you have the legislature, you have the other three parts of government, the local, the state government. You don't have control on those. And those determine the holistic economy and the performance of the country as a whole. So sometimes when you see leaders and when they are campaigning and they sound as if they are the best thing after fried rice, trust me, it's not what it is. By the time they get there, the reality checks will show. So I think he has done his bits. As a leader, you might see his faults, you might see his weaknesses, but he has tried his best. I mean, towards the end of his 8 years, remember, it was even before the sixth year, he was already talking about leaving Aso Rock. Apparently, I think he was tired. He has tried to push the best he can. I'm not sure he was getting a headway. And one thing is, you can be a sincere person, but you might not be a good administrator. And I think that's where Buhari had his faults. In the military time, he had the Diagbon to, being the frontline guy. But unfortunately, when he came in as a civilian, he had that challenge. People were circumventing what he wanted. I mean, the Emefieles and the different people, Malamis and things like that. But all in all, he has done his bits, and may his soul rest in peace. Um, well, I don't know which other topics that you have, but I would just want to say this. This is a yeah.
Go
Okay.
on. No, go on. No, finish that point.
Okay, so this is a major hit to is a major political ally to Tinubu. We can say that Buhari has been docile, he has not been active. Look, one word from Buhari in the north, it's a movement, whether we like it or not. And you will see that even when the president heard of this, he had to give instruction to the vice president, not just anybody, the vice president, to go ahead and get his corps down to Nigeria. This is a major blow to APC. Take it or leave it. So what that means is that the northern coalition within the APC and the CPC has been broken. That's what it means. So it will be shattered. It will take a lot for they will need a unifier, a leader now within that group. And unfortunately, the North is in a tough position now with the coalition and all that. So I know Tinubu is a smart man. He has some people in it that are his allies. He will need to bring them together and put those teams together, because right now they are all over the place. Whether you like it or not, Rabi Kwankwaso will have to come into APC. I foresee that would happen. In NS, if that doesn't happen, it can kiss that presidency goodbye. I can tell you that. They like Tinubu, but the truth is, there is a core Talakawas, the core northern house are the Fulanis. They have their support group, and some of them are very loyal to Muhammadu Buhari, whether sick or still alive. Now that he's dead, it's going to be very tough for him to pull it together. Yeah, you wanted to say something.
No, I wanted to bring World Peace into the conversation only really because I probably on the hour I probably have to go and run an errand. So I'll bring World Peace in, then MLP to follow. World Peace, we're talking about Garba Shehu, who actually a couple of days ago just came out really in the media space to try and sell his book. But then events now has thrusted that out in now to a bit more prominence now with the passing away of his principal. So your thoughts on either the Garba Shehu media outing or the passing away of the Aboki from Daura?
Yeah, one more, please go to the next one. I'm inside the train. It's noisy here. Sorry.
All right, MOP, floor is yours.
Yeah, greetings everybody. One man.
Salam alaikum.
It's my pleasure to join the platform. I just let me come for a few minutes. I've not been appearing on any chat. I'm still on vacation right now. So
Did you
um
watch the Club World Cup?
no, like I'm on vacation. I mean, I know about the club where from. Like I said, whenever I'm on vacation, I tend to maintain
You
my
switch
family
off everything.
protocol.
All
not to
right.
be on social media. So
Where,
as the
where
man
are you in the world, or you want to keep that private? Where are you? Where are you
oh,
vacating?
I'm on. We are touring the island. Started from Puerto Rico, so we are not in Puerto Rico right now. So
So
we
you're in
are
the
touring
Caribbean.
the island. So we'll probably be gone for about 10 more days. But I said, let me this my cameo appearance to your platform because of what I had on the news. I don't know what has been going on in Nigeria, but anyway, let it be. I'm on vacation right now. So I just want to make my comment to Buhari with respect to him. May his soul rest in peace. Whatever that may be translated in the I am in the outside, let it be. Um, like I said, we respect the dead, regardless of their shortcoming or anything that may be. I mean, I have my own shortcomings, so I'm not going to come here. But in a political space, I have no sympathy, when it comes to that aspect, of politically, whether he's a good man or not a good man, that's not what we're going to eat, because some people say it's a good man. I don't know what people have been saying. Like I said, I've not been on social media for almost about a week right now. Today actually will be a week. Having said that, I'm not a proponent of Buhari. A lot of Nigerian presidents, which I'm not a proponent of them. But when it comes to Buhari, like I said, may his soul rest in peace. So I'm not going to come here and utilize his political aspect. He's a calamity to that country. Okay, for what he has, for the calamity has come to that country. It's not even for me to state. The man is one of the worst president Nigeria has ever produced. He perpetuated, I mean, calamity in all ramification, killing of people. Somebody can come here. This is my own strictly opinion. He's the one that the answer, kill a lot of Nigerians, and his ethnic jingoism that he perpetuated. Where can I begin? Um, I mean, his president has done worse to that country. I don't know how long he ruled the country. I know definitely 8 years, and he was a military regime. I don't know how long he was, maybe 1 to 2 years. Maybe he has ruled that country for 10 years. So there's nothing out of him that I can come here, and and rejoice. There's nothing to rejoice about, about him in that country. So he's a failure. He has caused that country, in my own opinion. So that notwithstanding, let his soul rest in peace. With his family, however they think for him. Um, the man is a symbolic of Nigerian calamity. Let me call it. I can't even go about his ethnic something. His um. I mean, I can go on and on in the failure of that man. Okay, so you can celebrate him. No, I don't. He's a failure. He's what we call Nigerian to the worst, in my own opinion. One man. I just want to appear a few minutes and and leave because my family we have to be living. That I just want to make that comment that I'm not a fan of Tinubu. I'm not a fan of Buhari.
Yes,
It-
Prestige. It's quite curious, quite how people are trying to rebrand him now as as something other than what it was. The guy, for the period that this guy lived on this planet, it took a lot of lives, needlessly. Especially during his administration, just letting his tribesmen run amok,
I
killing other
mean, the
you know
ethnic. I mean, Buhari. I mean, Tinubu is doing the same thing right now. But we are not. This is not about Tinubu. It's about the ex-president. I mean, nepotism to the highest level that I ever seen. When during his time as a presidency. So what is it to? What is? Yeah, let's say, like I said, he's dead. May he say rest in peace. But I don't have anything good to say about him. Let me just say how it is. I mean, if I did the same thing and I pass away, let people, let people judge me the way, let people judge me about my contribution and what I did. Of course, I'm not a leader. I'm not in politics in Nigeria. But if I've done anything wrong, yeah, let people judge me to my own wrong. So we have to call a spade a spade. What has that man done to that country? He's the one that put us in where we are right now. I mean, where do I start? Everybody here, we are educated. We know what actually transpired, during his time. So I'm not going to come here and lecture people. This is what he did wrong. Everybody knows it. So just unless you just want to be blind, and call it. But if that's the way you want to see, power to you. I mean, I'm not going to come here, I'm not going to come here and castigate your opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. If that's how you feel, my personally MOP, I don't feel like that. You know, he's a failure, a calamity to that country. I will call it how I say it, but that's all I have to say. One man, I just want to come and put my 2 cents, okay? Go ahead before I
Does
leave.
surprise you prestige? How people are suddenly trying to rebrand him, eulogize about him, and trying to paint as though it wasn't as we remember him. The way people are talking about him now, you will think he was like a Mother Teresa figure or something. Does it
Is it
surprise you how they are trying to
one
rebrand him?
man? This is the country. This is the problem with with that country. Okay, you know, if we're gonna do the same thing, you know, then the future president we are going to have. They say, okay, you know, I did this. This is I'm going to do the same thing. Maybe when I done, people will remember me. You know, I mean, reconstruct what I did as a good thing. I mean, we have to call it what it is. I have to call it what it is. But anybody here or any other person, I don't know what has been going on. One man, like I said, I have not been listening. I don't know how people have been, you know, talking about him. I take what he said that people have been utilizing about him, you know, about what he did as a good president or whatever it is. But hey, it is what it is. One man, thank you very much for giving me these few minutes. Okay, I appreciate it.
All right, brilliant. We hear from Nigerian First next. But on our way to Nigerian First, let me play you this clip. This is Aisha Buhari, the son and daughter, going to the hospital then where he passed away in tears. So, Cry Me a River will probably be the response of Nigerians. So that was the Buhari family shedding crocodile tears on the streets of London. So give us a couple of minutes, Nigerian First, a couple of minutes, war pace, because I really have to go run an errand. Nigerian First. First.
Oh, okay. Can I speak now?
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, okay. So, I get it. The late president was not perfect. You understand me? Nobody is perfect. The thing is that the reason why Nigeria will never move forward is this our attitude of blaming single person for the country's problem. That alone is the major problem because I noticed Nigerians have been doing this since 1999. I still remember when Obasanjo was in power. That's when we have the song Nigeria Jaga Jaga, food, the water, that means we have elected more than, I think, 5 presidents now. Nigerians have remained consistent, complaining of the president is bad, the president is bad. It is high time we stop that madness. You understand me? I don't think we have made mistake 5 times. I think we need to look in the mirror. Let me give you an example. Uh, in my Facebook, I have a Facebook business account. So I have almost 500,000 people there. So I think this month I was paid money, about 1,000 something. Now I've been asked to provide a document, one document. The name is COM or something from the EFCC. Uh, in their website, it is free. But right now, someone is telling me, "Oh, if I want it processed urgently, I need to pay 80,000 naira." Is that the president that is putting delay on this? No, I bet Tinubu or whatever has no idea that these people are doing that. So we may keep blaming one person. We will keep changing. You understand me? The result will remain the same. until we start focusing our attention in the broad spectrum of the country, whereby everybody that holds office are held accountable. This idea, just looking at Abuja to solve every problem in the country, it's a waste of time. It's a dream that will never come true. Abuja, one single person in Abuja cannot solve Nigeria problem. Solving Nigeria problem require the coming together of everybody working together to achieve that. For example, do you know, like in America, look at America's system. You may elect a mad person to run America. Guess what? The system will run successfully. You know why? Because of other individuals that run other aspects of the government. They do their job. But in Nigeria, that's not the case. Look at Trump. Trump is being managed. You are not going to tell me that Trump is more smarter than Buhari. Let's be honest. At least Buhari still have his brain intact. Trump is not. Trump lie. Anything that comes out from Trump mouth is all a lie. But guess what? The country is still moving forward because other people that operate other aspects of the government are doing their job. That's why the country is still going well. But in Nigeria, that's not the case. Everybody, right now, everybody's blaming Tinubu that he is the problem of the country. In your mind, one man, you know that's not the case. I'm not a Tinubu fan, but he is not the problem. We have to look at the whole system broadly, and people who are responsible in different departments and different ministry and state and other local government. We don't do that. We're just wasting our time. We complain, nothing will change. Even if you throw away this 1999 constitution, you reform the system. If the people themselves don't reform their mind and mindset regarding the way public institution are handled, just a waste of time. Other people can speak. What peace and talk now.
Okay, that was a nice one. Good day, everybody. I hope I'm not there's not too much noise on my background. Anyway, make his soul rest in perfect peace. I know people are angry. He's dead. He's dead. Nothing we can do about it anymore. Like you said, we should always go after the message of the messenger. He has done his part and he's gone. Yes, during his time, a lot happened. It was the good, the bad, and the ugly. He was sick. A lot of people took advantage of his illness and they ran the government, how will I say, pari passu, how they wanted. And he too, he was not perfect in his own way. He had an agenda to try to put his clansmen in every position, trying to position them. So he has his own fault, and he still has his own little good part. We can say all we want to say. If not his will, Tinubu will not be president. He made sure he transferred the power to the West. We should not forget that. If he has given the power to his kinsmen, nothing will do. Nothing we can do. Heaven will not fall. We can scream all we like. And
hold on one please. Sorry, hold on one please. I'm going to be leaving now. I'll be gone for about 15-20 minutes. I'll leave it running.
Okay.
You guys carry on. If anybody wants to come in now, I'll leave in 2 minutes. If you want to come in now. Or otherwise, I'll disappear for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
If you guys leave, I'll just come and shop when I get back.
Okay.
Come in now, 2 minutes.
All right. So yeah, he did that, and yes, he did a lot of wrong. I will say he did a lot of wrong. A lot of wrong things went on in this regime. Yeah, the mess we are today now, he's part of it. He didn't create the star mess, but he's part of the mess too. So we should know that. And my state artifact, he gazetted to my king, and he gave us 2 ministers. At least I will appreciate him for that. About the herdsmen rampage in my town, is part of his fault. So that's all I can say. So let me yield the floor for the next man to speak. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, others can speak. The new guy, Adedeji, yes. Or what piece? What piece or Adedeji? You guys can speak.
Just finished speaking right now. I just spoke. Talk now. You there?
Okay.
Yes,
Sorry.
I'm
Talk
here.
now. Talk
I
now. Go
spoke.
ahead. Talk now. Sorry.
Oh, I spoke earlier. I think I was the first person to speak. I think it was
Okay.
Yeah.
maybe
Adedeji, go ahead.
G or Adedeji. Yeah.
Yes,
But
Mr. D. And
yeah,
Okay,
hello, boss.
Mr. D, go
Boss
ahead.
on today. I mean, I don't know. This our people sometimes like I just wonder. We know, like, I mean, this. I don't know. Is it okay, or is it Nigerian culture? Like when someone dies and everybody's saying, "Oh yeah, he's good," or you try not to say bad about him when the person has done terrible things. Eh? Like we've been here, we've been bashing this man every day. We wish him, everybody. Now he's dead. Some people are saying, "Oh no, it's this thing." You get me? Like how are we? You know, uh, I don't know. I think we need to start saying the truth as well. This
I
guy has
don't.
done us very bad. He's left us in a very bad place. Like I want to say, the last speaker that spoke just now. So can you tell me the good things apart from that he gave Tinubu the presidency? What has he done for Nigeria? What did he do?
If you, this is the thing. You see, we are not going to spoon feed anybody here. Everybody's an adult. If you find if you didn't do anything in your eyes, then okay, that's okay. You are
If
free to
then,
criticize him. So don't come here and be
I
asking
mean,
one question. What did he do?
no,
If you
because
cannot
like you don't
verify
do
for yourself,
nothing now.
that's
Just
for
say,
you.
but I mean, you're not even there. You're not even blaming the Nigerians. There's nothing is done with these Nigerians. Everybody they like nothing, not like all the Nigerians like it's their fault. How do you want us, all of us, to come together?
No,
250
no,
million. Let us, which
nobody
stadium
said
you
you
want
should
us
not
to pack
criticize
together?
him. I don't think anyone said don't criticize the.
Okay, guys, let me.
He said that we should come together. That it's not our fault. That it's not the leaders their fault. I don't know. I didn't paying you. Like I know. Don't get no disrespect.
No.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
let me. Okay,
like,
okay. I think you are responding.
like how
Hold on,
me
Mr.
as
D.
an ordinary person. Hold on. Let me finish. Me as an ordinary person. Well, how can I have the right to go and do something? Is it not the leaders? You gave an example, you're trying to do something there. Now, if you go and report those people, would they do them anything? No, they wouldn't. That's why those people will be saying they want to collect 80,000 for you to register something that they're supposed to do for free. If you report to the leaders, there's no consequences.
Okay,
Sorry.
Mr. D, hold on. See,
See,
this thing is,
good. Hold on, Mr.
wait till
Hold on. Let me
Nigeria first.
respond to Mr. D, then you speak. See,
Wait till Nigeria first. You'll be
oh no,
talking.
hold on. Okay, go ahead,
and
go ahead.
first, this is the moderator. Moderator first.
So the thing is, Nigeria first. I got your arguments, and I got everyone's argument. Everybody is right in his own opinion, to be honest. But then we view things differently. You see, one thing is this: if Nigerian first, as you had today, you're a private citizen, but immediately you become the president of the country, you are a public citizen. You are the number one. You are the father of everybody. See, they can blame you. They can do whatever they are. Like a person, personally like me, I was never happy because I'm not happy because he died, and I'm not at the same time feel bad because we are human. You know, if I can get to his age, it's a great blessing to me. But the way it is this: this idea of blaming average Nigerians for not doing the right thing, we are not helping these leaders. That means that we've reduced the quality of leadership to just an average person. No, our leaders should never be an average person. They should be the one that are above and that can guide us. You understand the point I'm saying? Okay,
let me give you an example. You were blaming a EFCC the other time that okay, they were asking for money. Yeah, who am I supposed to blame? If EFCC still fall under presidency, I will blame Buhari because you appointed the leader of EFCC. Now, look at what Goodluck Jonathan did. When he appointed the Akinwumi met fertilizer subsidy without even arguing, without even shouting, without even saying, I fight corruption, I will do this, I send the police. The guy put e-wallet in place. What happened? Fraud in fertilizer subsidy disappeared. When Tinubu became the governor of Lagos State, people may blame Tinubu today. Alpha Beta is collecting a percentage. If you've never worked for a consulting firm, you can always say that because you are supposed to know that consultants are supposed to charge a particular percentage for giving their services to you. So if you think, oh, Alpha Beta should do it free, then congratulations for those people, to those people. When you look at that time, Lagos was having all those money scattering around, but Lagos could only collect 600 million every month. If Tinubu look at those money that okay, this money we have this money in Lagos, but civil servants they collude with others to eat this money and they could not get anything. What did he do? He took a bold step, brought a consultant to Alpha Beta. Alpha Beta brought Oracle and other component of ERP. They put accounting system in place. What happened? They documented everything where they're supposed to get taxes from the banks everywhere, so that there's no way you are going to escape because your name is on the data. He harmonized everything. Today, everybody focus on Tinubu is collecting a percentage of that money, but you forgot that that thing was there. But wow, everybody before they never did anything to harness, and Tinubu brought that in IDD. So every fault within the parastatal of the government, within the agency of the government, we always go to the president because you are supposed to be father of all. In a family,
Okay, can I?
a father cannot be blaming a young kid that was not properly
Okay.
brought up. That, you are not behaving very well. No, it's the fault of the
Okay,
parent.
let me ask you a question. Do you live in Nigeria currently, or you live in the diaspora?
That has nothing to do with it, please.
Okay,
That's
okay,
the
fine.
way I
Okay,
live.
let me say something. Do you know what we as Nigerians are successfully doing in Nigeria? We have created a cover for state leaders because of this too much focus on the center. How many governors for the past 10 years have we as cities in question? For example, federal government came together, they passed this current administration, they increased minimum wage. Recently, I saw the governor of, I think, Bauchi or Adamawa or something. He was saying that no, they are not going to pay. They don't have the resources to pay the normal minimum wage. They are still paying 30,000 naira in this. See, that's why there is poverty everywhere. Most states are not paying the 90,000, 80,000 naira minimum wage. I promise you, if they pay those minimum wage to a lot of Nigerians, their economic activity will improve. You understand me? And most citizens from different states even refuse to protest or do anything. The law has been passed that okay, minimum wage is now 80,000, except few states like Lagos, I think what they call it, Port Harcourt and few other states that are the one paying currently, and Edo State pay 80,000 also. Others are still paying 30,000. In this economy, how can people survive? So what I'm saying is that we should broaden our criticism. We criticize the federal government, fine, but let us also put the pressure on local and state leaders. Even for example, when it comes about security in the country, I always tell people there's solution. The solution is let's create state police. But everybody always screams, no. Let Nigerians, me and you, let's protest. Let's put the government to go for state police. Let every state police themselves. I grew up in Festive Circular in Edo State. When I was growing up, we know all the all the corners where bad guys normally hang around. We know all those places. If I was a police officer, I know what to do because I was born and raised here. But you can't go ahead and bring someone from Casina to be policing someone in Edo State. He has no idea of a lot of stuff that goes on in Edo State. So there is solutions that can be done, but most people are not ready for solution. It just seems like a lot of us just want to criticize and go back to our this thing. We don't actually want solution. You understand me?
Okay.
Look at the current administration. There are a lot of stuff they are doing, but because of people hatred towards the administration, they can't even say, okay, this tax reform is a good this thing. The subsidy removal is good. You can easily point out the area where they are working and criticize them on the area where they are doing bad. That's how to evaluate government. You can't just wait and tell, oh, come on and say, oh, the government is bad. How? Explain to me which area that is.
Niger, Niger, Niger,
Okay.
Niger
Let
first.
another person.
Let me say this. I want to ask a question before I start making my own submission.
Go ahead.
Is it because of our literacy rate that is very low that even Nigerians cannot actually identify a good government? You understand what I'm saying? Because if you have group of people that cannot even identify good government, then they won't even know what. Because let me give you for example, you will hear Nigerians say, "Oh, good luck, Jonathan. Good luck, Jonathan. Good luck, Jonathan." I think anybody that is actually have a good sense of good, I mean, a sense of good governance, we know that Jonathan was part of the people that ruined that country.
Yeah, it was
But
a
you see,
failure.
yes, but you see an average Nigerian talking now, they will be praising Jonathan. In fact, they will be asking him to come back. The same thing they are doing for Buhari, because Buhari did not do anything. He was only palliating. You understand? All those things that he was doing that time, he knew what Nigerian wanted. And that was why he was just palliating. He was borrowing money. If I remove this thing, Nigerians will cry. Meanwhile, he knew that he was actually destroying the country. But he
He wanted to
understood
make them
the
feel
psyche.
comfortable.
Yes, he understood the psyche of an average Nigerian, including the elite. Look at the way that everybody is shouting now. He being power. Well, why did he remove subsidy? Why did he remove the arbitrage? You understand? So if we are trying to say, okay, we have to blame the leaders, the followers also have a lot of blame also, because they are even the one. Okay, look at it now. If you look at the way Nigerians are shouting now, if you look at, and the elite are actually now want to use that one to get this government out there. If they succeeded, that is how we continue the cycle, and we will never get it right in that country. That is the problem.
Because I always
Okay.
say this:
So we cannot totally
Nigerians are
exonerate Nigerian masses
Nigerians are
also.
No,
Simba, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Nigerian first.
Nigerians
I mean,
are
I want to
Let
speak in defense of
Nigerians are
Nigeria.
hold on just 1 minute,
wait.
please. Nigerians are
Nigerian first. Wait.
physically
Let another
strong,
person speak. Let another person
while
speak. You
Nigerians are
continue.
mentally weak. A lot of our people are mentally weak. They always look at things at the surface, no depth in their thinking. Go to Nigeria Twitter, you will shake your head. No good conversation come out there. All you see every day is insult and insult. If you engage people in conversation, they cannot defeat your argument. They default to insult. That's the only way out. If they
Okay.
disagree with you, they cannot disagree with you on a
Nigerian
mature
first.
way
Wait.
and
Wait.
move on.
Let's focus on the topic. Mr. D, what
So
do you want
so
to say?
so other people can speak.
Sorry, I want to defend the Nigerian people because, and I think it's some of these our elders or some of these people that they're speaking out, they're not speaking the real thing. You understand? Because how do you expect a normal Nigerian person in Nigeria, they'll just live there anyhow. When they come abroad, they do very well. Why? Because the structures are there. Who is going to put the structures? Is it not the leaders? Is it me as an ordinary person that's just trying to eat, fry gari, or do whatever that's going to do it? This is why anytime when it comes to the problem, who are we going to call on is the leader, because if,
Mr.
for
D,
example,
let me ask you, you are from Delta State, right?
yes, yes,
Okay. Are you aware that your former governor, there was some money that Buhari actually released to some South states? The one that they released to Wike was the one that Wike was using to construct bridges and all those things. Your own state, the money disappeared. What did you do about that? Did you hear about it? Was there any complaint, any protest, anything from the Deltans against your governor at that time?
let me tell you, for Buhari to do it, he has to be part of it.
Just answer my question. I don't like people just.
Listen. No, don't answer. What do you mean? Like, should I go? If somebody go and protest against the government and they shoot him and kill him, what will happen? Because what are you
Oh, no,
talking
no,
about?
it's
The
not even
president
a
is in charge
protest.
of security.
Was there any, even if it is on social media,
People
that
shouted
was
now, Shebi, you know about it. People shouted about it, but they couldn't
no,
do
no, no,
anything
no, 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 no,
because
no, not the only person was
we,
that actually spoke against it that time was maybe is it Clark, that old man that was
yes,
complaining that
people,
time.
but
We did
people that
not see.
when they were paying it, did we know that? Oh, they paid this money to Delta State government. Nobody knew now. When they're collecting their money, they don't tell people. They don't publish
But
it out.
when you
They do,
eventually
they
heard
do,
about
and
it,
not
what
Even if
was
the
your
all.
government,
reaction?
They do,
even
they do
when the
publish
government,
it. See, this is the thing.
listen,
You guys
even
don't
when
follow what's going on. They do publish it. Go to is
okay,
it TMO's website? They do publish how much was
But
distributed to states.
if it were federal government that time, I know you'll be shouting, "Hey,
no,
corruption, 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 corruption."
listen. Me as an ordinary person, most people, all the deals that go on in the government, most people don't know about it. Whatever money they're paying NDDC, we don't know about it. Again,
So
if the state,
how
Mr.
do
D,
we that
listen.
we are talking about it? Hey, Mr. D, how
Now,
do we
if
get?
the
How do we know about it? And you
if
that
me,
you are
I
even
will,
a dental don't
so,
know.
you're,
you see,
you're,
Mr.
Okay,
D,
guys,
you
wait.
listen,
listen. If
Everybody, hold on.
can I
Everybody,
say
hold
something?
on. Let's talk now. Let's hear from talk now.
Okay. And you see, Mr. D, that's the problem. You see, the information has been out there because it doesn't relate to federal government. Everybody will ignore it.
Mm.
The state
but it's not like
people do
that.
not hold.
But why?
Just hold on. People do not hold the state government and the local government that are close to them accountable. I will give you an
How can
instance.
you
They are
wait?
saying,
Wait, how can you
hold on.
hold them?
Let me just make this point. Today, they will say the prices of things are up. Prices of basic food items are up. Guess what? They will say the federal government. Are we saying that the state government cannot support farmers in their states? Are we saying that the state government does not even know if they can produce more in the next couple of months? If they need to support them with fertilizer, if they need to get into everything comes from the center. It has to be the federal government. Things as basic as agricultural stuffs. The truth is this: we as Nigerians we focus more on the federal so much. A councillor will be going with escort. What is he doing with it? A state chairman, you will see him building houses right there in front of you. You ignore it. You focus on the federal. The streets are
Okay,
dirty. The local government is supposed to take care of it. Where is the protest against the local government?
if
The
the
one that is even close to you. I am saying
And their
that the
decision
project.
impacts them directly. Their decision impacts you
see,
directly.
you're not listen. I think you're conflicting stuff. If a local government person does not do his job, who is supposed to checkmate it? If
It's
a
federal
governor
government that's
does not
supposed
do,
to.
Who do
if
It's
you
the
a
who do you
federal
think
governor,
government
should
that's
check with
listen,
supposed
you?
to
Who do
checkmate
you
if
it.
think
a
should
governor, if
answer
a
that question?
governor does not do what he has to do, or he steals money, who is going to checkmate it? Is it an
House of
ordinary
Assembly.
citizen?
The state House
Is
of
it
Assembly.
ordinary citizen? It's state of assembly that he arranges all his people in there.
Mr. D,
No, that's
You
not
know
true.
what's up now.
what we are trying to let you
Oh, you
understand
don't
is this.
blame the
The
people.
way
Stop
we are
blaming the
critical.
people.
Wait now. The way we are critical about federal government, any little money, they spend 150 billion to buy cars for the senators. They spend 20 billion for the VP house and all those things. There was a day I mentioned something here. Alex Oti, Alex Oti of Abia, the one that you obedient are claiming that is the best governor in Nigeria, is using his own personal house as government house and is voting over 15 billion naira yearly as budget to his own personal house. Did you hear anything about it? Did you hear any Abians talking about it, even obedient saying anything about it? But if it is federal government, everybody will be shouting on the social
I
media.
mean, because everybody is interested in the federal government. In the state
Why
government, the
should it be
federal
like that?
government is
Why
not
should it
powerful.
be? Why should
Listen,
it be like that? That is what we are trying to
it
draw
is
your attention
because
to.
the structure of Nigeria, the structures that you put down, it goes straight to the federal government.
That's
That
not
is
correct.
Which
why.
structure?
Who is
Which
going
This
to
structure?
structure we
Which
built
structure
who
are you
is going
talking
to
about?
prosecute? Who's going to prosecute the governor? It is not you as an ordinary
Wait,
man.
no. So if you are talking about the federal government, are you prosecuting the federal government? I'm just. We are even saying that you people
No,
should even
because all
criticize
you can just
ordinary
do,
criticism.
listen.
That's what we are saying. We are not saying you should go and arrest them. Talk about it.
No,
Put them on their feet.
I understand what you're saying, but
So
who
why
will
are you
do?
not saying that it's the
No,
federal government
no,
that
no, wait,
knows?
listen. No, because me, I don't. I'm even saying it's the people. No, don't blame the people.
I don't
It's the
even
government, and
like
we
people.
blame.
People
Don't
like
blame
you
the
have
people.
already made up your mind. It's like you are not
Listen, we
ready to even
blame.
understand what you are
No,
saying.
no, 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 no.
I don't need
We
to be
blame the
wasting my
government.
time on
We
you.
blame the state government. We blame the
Okay,
state government. We blame the.
let me add my own. Let me add my own. You see, people that I'm not a fan of blaming Nigerians because even for those people that read Bible, you read that people perish because they lack knowledge. That's a reason we have some people that are teachers. Now, if I didn't go to school, if nobody taught me engineering, I would know nothing about engineering. If we don't teach people about citizenship education, you will be surprised. People will not know about citizenship education. That is why we have leadership, because the leaders are supposed to be the ones that are above everyone, at least in some certain aspect. Now, if you really want Nigerians to know their civic responsibilities, sometimes you need to put that in the curriculum. You need to find a way to communicate. So, but I won't just wake up and expect average person on the streets of Nigeria to know how things should run. No, it's like you give birth to a kid, you didn't train the kid properly, and you expect a kid that was just born from nowhere, that was empty, apart from the basic functionality of hand to cry, to just know how to behave. You understand? Even we as an adult, if we are leaving if we are leaving our country to another country, we still go there to learn how they are doing there. Why are we able to key into the system when we arrive in the foreign land? It's just because they put some certain things in place that you cannot go against. And not only they are not saying that thing by mouth, but you are seeing the authenticity. So if we are in a country where the allocation to the local government are not going to them, we can't blame ordinary citizens immediately if they don't know what to do. But you can see the leaders that know what to do, they even took the matter even up to the Supreme Court, and they are trying to enforce. That's leadership to me. So you know that you want to have electricity, and someone put everything in the exclusive list, and you are there as the president. You are not even sponsoring to say you want to devolute. All you want to do is to capture everything. I will blame you because you want to be all in all. Because as a leader, you know that you are supposed to delegate appropriately. So that is why it is difficult to blame average Nigerians, in my own humble opinion, for things. So you have to teach people first before they know. Like I said, I can't be an engineer if nobody taught me how to be an engineer. Yeah, I can't even learn how to speak English if nobody taught me how to speak English. The same way all those citizens you see. Because over time, some evil leaders, whether they are at the local level or at the state level, they've positioned the mind of Nigeria to always see
But
the
Ola, you cannot isolate the leaders from the followers. everybody develop in the society. If the society develop, you have a very developed society, then the kind of leader that you get will also be in tandem with this kind of society that you have. So you can't give what you don't have.
No,
If you
we have the
have,
people. We have the people, but it's the structure
I
to
beg
choose the
you,
right
it's
people
not
that we don't have.
the people that you have grew up in the same society, they have the same mentality. So how do you expect them to now be different from the
The thing is
society?
Listen,
that,
let me tell
hold on,
you. See,
Let me say this.
Simba, hold on. See, everybody always complain about the structure. I always say this: any system you create right now, you are not going to bring out people from America, Asia to rule to run the system. You are going to pick Nigerians, and guess what? Majority of the people that are currently running the country will be the ones to run the new system. So this idea that if you just write another constitution on paper, then suddenly Nigeria just change and become better for everybody.
no. The
Hey,
selection process, but the selection process of the people. If, for
well,
example, now you go
okay, hold
listen.
on, hold on, hold on,
If,
hold
for
on. You want
example,
to
now
see
you change INEC.
hold on.
I'm just giving
Mm.
one simple thing. Yeah.
INEC,
If you go to
no.
INEC,
See. That's the mistake. The INEC is not even where the election normally
no.
takes.
Give me.
If you
Let
want,
me
hold
allow
on.
me
Let me tell
land
you what you need to
now.
do. Hold on, let me land. Then you speak. I am the host. Hold on. You need to focus on the party because the party, that's where leaders emerge from before the citizens decide to vote for maybe the top two. So this idea that the INEC is the problem, INEC is not the problem. Fix the parties, Make sure the process, the primary are wide open. For
Bros,
example,
you're very wrong. You're
no.
very wrong.
It is. I'm not
You're
wrong. For example,
100% very wrong. Let me
let
give
me
you.
hold
You've
on,
said your thing.
Let me
Let me.
see.
Let, let,
Tell
let's.
you what. Hold on. Let me tell you what
How can you
APC
say it's
won.
wrong? I think that it should be too simple for you to understand what he's
Thank God.
talking
That's what I
about
want
now.
to explain. Let
If
me
you have
explain
if
to
you
you.
have good candidates, whatever they turn out will be good for
Oh,
everybody. But
thank you.
where we're in a situation whereby all parties are just bringing bad products for them to
Mm-mm.
choose, so what are you going to get?
It's not
Simba,
like
let
that.
me
Let me.
explain. Hold on. Let me break it
How
down
is
to
it?
you. See, let me tell you why APC won in 2015.
Boss,
They were
listen,
well.
don't tell us again. Now let's react to your question where
Just
you
one
talk
minute.
now.
When I finish, you
You're
speak.
trying to
Just 1 minute.
indoctrinate us in your belief. We don't want you to understand. Let's
No, I'm
tell
not.
you the
I'm just
reasons
telling
we.
you. See, this is the
Let me
thing,
give
eh?
you. Listen, let me
Okay,
give you the
go ahead.
reasons that I think that. Listen, you are on the government. Yeah, you're with the government. That's why you're saying all this. We that is not with the government, we that is aggrieved that we're upset. Let me give you why.
You
We
don't even know what
believe
you
that.
are upsetting about. That's the thing.
Listen, let me give you. If your election is where you choose your leaders, and it affects everybody. If the processes is genuine, is real. For
Yeah.
example, yes, we know they're making process. If people go and vote, then if people vote, give a chance where somebody can steal your vote. Block all those changes. You will see that you will get good people to come into this thing. Right now, it's only criminals and gangsters that can come into Nigerian politics because the real leaders, the engineers, they go to school, the scholars, they can't even near it because it's very dirty. You understand? The real people that can come, just say, for example, if you vote,
So
now when you
is
vote,
it INEC that make it dirty?
yes, because
I
if you
no,
vote
that's
and
not
they will
true.
transmit
That
it, for
that is
example, give
not
me,
is not so is
listen
INEC
now,
that encourage. Wait now, let me ask you a
That's what
question
I
now.
said earlier that Nigerians are mentally weak.
listen. If you vote, for example, we do
I
an election. Listen, if we vote now, yeah,
So is
and we do
INEC
an
that will see
election,
ballot box? Is INEC that will carry guns? Is INEC that
why
will
are we
distort
doing
election?
ballot box? Why can they not transfer the thing? This thing, as you vote, there is electronic. Trust, if you do that electronic voting, I swear half of this INEC problem is gone.
Where are they doing? Even America, they don't do electronic voting. So
They do,
where do you
they
get that one now?
do in some places. They do. Please, they do. We know that it's electronic. The ones we have here, the INEC chairman, they bring it to his office, they change all the paper, you tear all the thing away. You go there, they do wicked stuff for it. That is not government. That can never produce good leader. That's going to bring only gangsters.
You know what I'm saying? The people that disrupt election, are they from INEC? Is it INEC that disrupted the election?
It break the way the people don't give them chance that if you go there, you vote. Because Nigeria is so bad. We need, look, we need
It's like you have lost contact with so you think Nigeria can even go for electronic voting? How many
they
people
should.
even
That's
have?
the only best
Uh,
way to do. Otherwise, we're
no,
going to have
wait
gangsters that will be
now.
stealing the
Nigeria
ballots
can't do that.
and be
We
doing
can't do
wicked style.
electronic. We can't do electronic
Okay,
voting. And again,
can I
where
explain,
in the
please?
United States do they do electronic voting today? Where? I'm
Simba,
yet to
as I
hear
always say,
of
many of us don't want
one.
solution. As I said, if you want to fix Nigeria
You
politics,
know,
you have
you
So
to
know,
we're
you
just
have to
giving
fix
excuses. We're
you
just
have to
giving
we are not
fix
excuses.
just
the
giving
party.
excuse. It's
You
like
have
most
to
of you people that have
fix.
escaped from Nigeria, you have lost touch with reality of
Yes,
the
they have.
situation on ground.
Yeah, they have. Because if you want to fix the
The,
system, you have to
the
fix
security
the
one, you tell them do
parties.
state police. They say
Okay,
no. Da, 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 da. State
let
police
me say.
is the
Hold on.
only
Let me say
solution
what I
to
mean.
security.
For example, if you fix the party politics, people like the current Africa Development President will come in. People like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala will come in. They will be able to campaign within the party and go for primary and win without
No,
any
let me
involved.
even tell you, Niger first. Those people they can even come and form their own party, but the issue is that will Nigerians accept them?
They will not, because
Nigerians will
based
not
on
accept them because they won't the money that they needed for them to accept them. They won't spend it.
yeah, they won't spend it. Yeah, they will not. This is what I always say to fix
First of all, if
Nigeria.
you get better party, you want to register. They've not
Showore
registered
has
for
a
you.
party. Wait. Showore is there now. He has a party. There is the one controlling the party. Is the chairman and everything. Is their
Yeah,
candidate. What has he achieved with it?
no transparency in their finance, how they
They
spend money.
say he's
Nothing.
the manager and he's the this thing. I don't know what's wrong with your
It is
party.
across all parties. That's the problem. The thing is
Eh,
that I have seen Nigerians and that was
I beg,
critical
bros,
of
please stop
government.
blaming Nigerians. If you be blaming
Hold on.
Nigerians for this thing, yeah,
Simba, do you know
but it's
bossing?
not good now. It's not
Hold on.
fair.
Hold on. Simba, do you know Bosun Tijani, the Minister of, I think, Communication and this thing?
No, it's the interior now.
No, the communication, not interior.
Okay,
Like
communication. Okay.
yes, that guy was a critic of government. Maybe go to his Twitter page, go and check past message. He became the Tinubu appoint him. He even criticized Tinubu also, but Tinubu decided to appoint him to be minister. Guess what? He has been, most people in the view of Twitter, he has been a major failure. All the idea he thought he had on social media at the time, okay, apply then and let's see. That's the thing. People think, see, first of all, you have to see Nigeria as a very, like, as a science. Because people always say governance is not science. It is. Anybody that say governance is not science is crazy. For example, put a group of 20 Nigerians together. You will see how difficult it is for you guys to plan and come up with something. Talk less of 200 million people of that or 230. So to govern Nigeria is very, very difficult. It's not an easy job. You understand me? You have to someone like Tinubu or someone like Obasanjo,
Talk.
people who have a little bit of crookedity in their hand, they are the only one that can govern Nigeria successfully. Because if you are just nice as a Goodluck Jonathan or Buhari, you become you just become a single fish in a pond. Other people will eat you up because those guys can be good leader in America, in England, but in Nigeria, no. Nigeria is a different breed. You have to know that as a leader, you are dealing with crooked people here.
I
Any
think yeah, I think it's not hard to. We just don't have the leaders on the point. That's it. It's not hard.
no, it's very hard. That's
It's
it.
not. How many things is Nigerian problems? Like we don't dey solve as to go. We solve it one by one and solve it one by one.
Let
You
me
get
tell
it?
you, the current president is facing backlash of doing what is right for
No,
the
because,
future of the
because
country.
listen, let me tell you why it's facing backlash.
You have to tell me.
Security is the most important part. Nigeria
Yes.
is so insecure. And because of maybe for political reasons, they've not been able to sort this security thing, which is like the most important. And people, for example, if I was in Nigeria, I have 5 plots of land. I shouldn't be hungry because I can plant yam.
Let me
Do you
ask
understand?
you,
Let me
So most
Mr. D,
let me
Nigerians,
Mr. D. Let me ask you this: we started hearing about insecurity in Nigeria probably maybe at the beginning or shortly after the beginning of this dispensation. I mean, this Fourth Republic.
you started hearing about
Before
what?
then, we were. What do you say?
What did you say? I said you started hearing about what? Sorry.
Insecurity. We started talking about insecurity in Nigeria during this civilian. I mean, this democratic
that start
dispensation.
mostly started the majority. It started hard in 20, I think,
I mean,
2009. Yes.
this is for
No,
you guys, though.
what I want to bring out is this.
Okay.
Before then, what we you say is our major problem that we still lack most of the things that we
Thank
supposed
you.
to have
Let me tell
before
you,
the insecurity.
this is your own view that you think you started. This is your view that you think you started insecurity from 1999. Some know that Nigeria has been insecure for at least maybe 30, 40 years now, guaranteed. And some of us
Eh,
have been affected by it.
I don't even know your age that you are
Listen,
talking about 30, 40
listen,
years ago.
okay, let me give you.
Yeah.
My own dad was killed in Nigeria 30 years ago.
That's normal
Do you
crime.
understand?
Everybody
So
that
don't say
people
that's no
get killed
matter.
anywhere. Wait, for the fact that your father get killed 30 years ago does not mean that
This
there
is
is no country
security.
that people don't get killed.
Thank
So,
you.
I'm giving you, you're
so
telling
you
me
can't use
in
that
those
one
times, listen,
as a measure of
listen,
insecurity.
listen. In those times, yeah, it's the same thing today. They will say, oh, now God,
It's not
oh,
the same
now like
thing.
so God did.
It's
Listen,
not the
you
same
know
thing.
There
how
are
many people
40,000 gun,
that get
gun
killed?
deaths in the
Listen, do you
US.
know how
So
many
what are you
people
saying?
that get, listen, now stop it. Do you know how many people that get killed that is not being reported? Do you understand? And
Who told
this
you
kind of
that?
thing, when the thing happen, you go to police station.
No,
Maybe police
police
go
do have
look
the
you, go even
orders of
charge you
killing.
before they come there.
No, no, no,
What
no,
are
no.
you saying? Is it today is
No.
starting?
Police do have all those numbers. See, let's not do this. See, this is the problem of Nigeria. In the
It's not the
US,
problem
unlike
of
the US,
Nigeria. Look,
hold
you
on,
think
let
it's
me
now.
explain to
Stop it.
you. Don't do this, please. In the US, I don't know if you live in the US. Every year they record almost 40,000 deaths by gun violence every year. US is not on.
At
It's not
least
the
they get
first.
gun where they take
Hold
they
on,
defend
hold on.
themselves. Our own, we don't have gun. Only criminals have
Simba,
gun.
Simba, Simba. Do you know? I told someone. I said one of my American friends. I said during Trump, when Trump was elected. I mean, after the inauguration, maybe 3 weeks after the inauguration, if you notice, there were rapid plane crash, like 4 different plane crash. Do you know what I told my friend? I said, if this happened in Nigeria, Nigerians would go online and say Nigeria is a failed state, that Nigeria is at war. But I was like, you guys are just calm. You guys are going about your day. But if this happen in Nigeria, Nigeria will make it seem as if the country is at war. Whereby 4 planes drop in how many weeks? So we need to calm down. Our over pushing things is just too much. These are normal. Your dad was killed 30 years ago. Now that's security. People die every day. I'm sorry
It is
if I
not
lost
people
that.
die. Stop it. This is what I'm saying.
There's
So
crime.
what is it? It's not crime. Like things has changed from that time. From that time to now,
Okay,
it's
okay,
the
okay.
same
Tell
thing.
me
It's
what's different.
insecure.
How is your side?
I accept my sympathy. At least, yes, you lost your father. It's unfortunate, but you cannot now use that one as a benchmark.
Thank you.
You can't use that one as a 30 years ago when your father was killed. That was when insecurity started. So it is your father that started it.
Guys, if I may even contribute, see, to me, there's no basis between basis for comparison between America and Nigeria when it's come to insecurity. The insecurity in Nigeria is self-afflicted. Yeah, we used to have some level of insecurity, and there's another one brought by dangerous politicians. And this is the more reason we should not even allow the gang up this time around. He's on record. He's on record, and some prominent politicians they even said it. Towards 2015 presidential election, these crooks they went and bring foreign militia and position them in our forest, thinking that Jonathan will not release power. And when that thing finished, what happened? These people they reneged on the promises made to those people. What followed? They started kidnapping, started doing a lot of things. So now we can't compare what happened in America and that one. So we on our own, our leaders rather, they went ahead and import insecurity in addition to what we had in Nigeria. So no basis for comparison. Now, and you as the head of state, instead of you providing grant, like former head of state, when OPC was becoming a menace, he declared total war upon them to make sure they stop, right? But this guy is on record that he was asking people to go and know how to live with their people. They reduce all this kidnapping and all this militia, even waging war against Nigeria. They reduce everything to herdsmen and farmers. That's one narrative there. And our government started paying ransom to bandits. That a state governor was on record to say, "Oh, I have to pay these people not to pay our people." So what were you doing when someone that was not equipped, you gave him you already they were dealing paying your people with weapon. You don't go give them money. And these people they are aware that you have other resources they can even feed upon. You will give you empower criminals. That is what some of our people did. In Americans were not empowering criminals. Rather, they said, okay, if government cannot protect you fully, then we give you the right to protect yourself. So Nigerians is not doing that. That is why that we will keep blaming our leaders in some quarters. I can't blame citizens. To me, I can't blame a citizen. What will they do? What will they do? Yeah, we can talk, we can protest, we can enlighten
No,
ourselves.
uh, uh, Pampa, let me say something. Citizen has a right to play when it comes to security in their state or in their community. What that require is
Hold on. Someone
hold on,
defended himself. Wait
hold
now,
on.
because
What that
wait,
require is paying
let me make
attention.
you
See,
will
see,
continue.
hold on,
Hold on,
sir.
hold on.
Hold on.
Just give me
See,
2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Hold
okay,
on, two
right.
seconds. Someone defended himself, fighting against the herdsmen that attacked him in the farm. What happened? They've given the death penalty. So tell me, what do you think other citizens will do?
Let me tell you one thing. One thing I realize, when something happen in Nigeria, I always take my time to wait for more information or wait for information from the police or the military. I don't jump on anything that is trending. I don't do it because many things that happen in Nigeria, give it a while, the truth normally come out. That's why I'm very careful when things get, happen in the country. I don't rush to be the first to speak out. No, I take my time. When it comes to security, citizen needs to play a role. There's this mentality that Nigeria has that, oh, if you report to police, they will not arrest you, that you are the this thing. Because they hear that rumor that, oh, if you do something, you tell police arrest you. Many of them have been going about everywhere with that mentality that if you tell police anything now, they will point at you that you are the one that committed the crime. Many of them have no proof of that has ever happened. They hear it from someone, that's third party discussion, and they run with it. That's
Man,
what
I swear
mentality
I'm very
is.
disappointed
No,
with you,
no,
man.
no,
I'm not
no,
lying.
no, no. See,
Very bad.
hold on. Let me explain to you why. I was in the diaspora before. I spent 10 years there. All the problem I faced there was listening to Nigerians. Ask me why. Nigerians will tell me something. I will follow through concerning how to process document. Guess what? Many of them were information they know nothing about. It took me a while to realize, no, I shouldn't listen to my people. I had to do everything by myself. I do research, I search things for my and everything went out well. So I realized never to listen to fellow Nigerians because most of them don't have direct details of what they are talking about. It's always third party information. Yes, say.
Is I think you're doing it. You're just you're
What I'm
letting us
telling
down.
you that
It's not fair.
in
You're letting us
security,
down. And
no, no, I'm
the
not.
thing
Let me
is,
tell you something. In
we have
security,
people like you that people be
hold
listening
on,
to.
hold on. It's everybody' responsibility. If you see something, say something. I see white
Listen,
people all the time. When they see someone they don't know, they call the police or they interact with the person directly. Who are
I've
you? Who are you looking
I've
for?
given you an example of something that happened to me. We went to the police and nothing happened from mom.
Yeah.
What did they tell me? Like you understand? And nothing happened. What are
Okay,
you
okay,
telling me?
okay, but let's agree that your case
No, no, Nigeria
was
first.
okay. Your
Nigeria
case is
first.
right, but does that mean that that's the generality of the police? No, that's not.
Okay. See, all the Nigerian police they do is to protect. They don't protect Nigerian citizens. They
Okay.
protect the elite. Only the elite.
Uh Nigeria first. Let me say something about Nigeria that you say you ask information from. Sometimes we need to accept responsibility for ourselves. Now, if I
Yes, I
need to
did.
get a question, wait now. If I need to ask question around healthcare, I won't come to you except I know if you're a doctor. I won't come to Mr. D except I will go to Simba. If Dr. Adama is there or Babati, I will go to them because they are the professional in the field. I don't have business going to someone that knows nothing because whatever those people are giving me, they are just there. It's just there whatever they know. They are not. They don't have information about the industry. So if you need something on engineering and IT, and you just go to someone that is working in a Walmart warehouse, a warehouse that I mean that maybe you are just picking items on the floor and just packaging it, and you said Nigeria gave you wrong information. No, the
No,
selection
no,
of
that's not what.
approach
No, no, no,
is
no, no,
something.
no. See, I
Now
don't know if
wait,
you live in a diaspora. Hold on, hold on. I'm
or
talking about.
wait. Now I still
Hold
live
on. Let
in
me
diaspora.
explain. I'm not talking.
Wait,
I'm talking about.
wait.
I was looking for document back then. You understand me? So I met some of my Nigerian fellow who already have papers. So I was like, okay, what was the process? How did you guys do it?
You
So
don't know how they
hold on,
papers.
most of the information they passed down to me was just hearsay. You understand me?
guy,
So that's what I'm
guy.
talking about.
So,
I'm not talking about
guy,
engineering or
okay,
doctor or those kind of things.
I'm giving. I just was like, okay. Look at it this way now.
It doesn't.
Some
He's
of
saying the
us,
same thing because you're supposed to go to a lawyer to go and get
exactly,
those information.
exactly. Why will you just
That's
go
what he's
to
saying. You don't
someone
even
that is
understand it now. You're supposed to
is
go
not
to
all
an
aware?
immigration lawyer to give you those
What
information.
you people are giving is still part of the information that it doesn't have. So information is not only paper; it's about
Thank you, I
what
was
people
new.
know.
I was new
Yes.
there. I didn't know much.
No, no,
You
no.
understand me? It's a
Simba,
new
what
place.
I'm even saying is this: you don't go to someone that has little knowledge. Okay, when I was coming, I
You
spent
know,
about
if you don't have knowledge or life, if you don't have knowledge about something, you won't know. If the person is just talking, you think that person has knowledge now because you don't even know anything.
no. Okay, no. Simba, you see my identification now. I know you are a doctor before I approach you. If I
For
don't
you, you
even
know,
know you as
Ola,
a
for you
doctor,
to even know what you know, that okay, if you need this certain information, you know the appropriate place to go. It's an information.
yes, that's exactly what we are saying. So you see, the person that you approach person to, you should accept your limitation as well as someone that you talk to that gave you wrong information. Both of you, you were wrong to start with. Do you understand? So because our own approach to, we should look at it properly. On the policing you are talking about, see, if anybody are telling you that they cannot rely on Nigerian police, I tell you, I'm even among those people that will tell you. I work in the bank and we work with these police. I can tell you so much about some of them. You understand? So, and is when people tell you that they cannot rely on the police, they are not exaggerating. No, they are not. They are not exaggerating. I had a situation before that police was asking me to write what I did not do. I just had to call my office. You understand? Police will ask you to be writing. Okay, what will you do when you have about five armed police with AK-47, and they grip you, and they drag you into the van, and they put you at the back of the pickup, and they take you there to the office. Nobody knew, nobody was coming, and they're asking you to do things. What will you do among them? What? Because the only thing, except you have said that, okay, if not to pie me, I know they follow you. If you have that
Eh,
kind of spirit,
Ola,
that's
Ola,
And
do
they
we
require
do
you, the
we
person.
really do? Let me ask you this: if you look at, is it our culture or the way we are? Because what I can see, let me tell you, my experience. Whenever I travel to Nigeria, I will start experiencing Nigerian way right from the airport. The way Nigerians behave generally, you get to hotel, you see even the hotel attendant, the way they will attend to you, you will be comparing them with the experience that you have where you are coming from. If you go to the airport, the airline, even private airline, not government, oh, the way they will talk to you, the way we are not even, I don't even know what is wrong with us.
it.
It's like, eh?
When we still talk of leadership, your education is part
The
of it.
the because it's to me, this is what I experienced just few days. In the last few days of Nigeria. You understand?
Simba,
The
Simba,
way they will talk to you, the way they
No,
don't
no, no, no,
even.
no, 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 Simba, you don't let us go away from this topic of police
You
and
see the same thing now that we are
wait.
talking.
No,
It's not.
Simba,
it's not the
You know,
same.
you know why we are talking. Let me say
Ne-
this, and I will link it together. Ola, just give me 1 minute. We talk about police, we talk about PM, NEPA, or whatever name they are giving them, because they are people, they are giving essential services. Let me tell you, it's the same way everybody behave, the same way police behave, that's the same way the teachers behave, that's the same way the administrators behave, that's the same way everybody behave. But because the other ones, people don't pay emphasis on them, they don't affect their life directly. That's why people don't complain.
Simba, police used to behave badly in America, and they still behave badly now. But you know what happened these days, that they have a way of monitoring them. And you will even see some online bloggers where they are doing post operational things, that they will analyze how a police officer behave and all those stuff. How were they able to do that? They were able to capture them on camera. They were able to do a lot of things. Like in Canada now, at least from what the police officer said, you cannot move your rifle out of your vehicle. There's a counter and a signal that will signal to the end that, okay, you are using your rifle, and you must account for whatever you are doing with that rifle daily. See, this is part of leadership. Nigerian police, there are some
But
things. Let me
the
land now. Let
standard.
me land.
Okay,
Let me land.
continue.
Let me land. We've said this thing over and over, that human being will not behave properly until you find a way to make them accountable. If you
Consequences, yes, you're right.
you understand? Now,
Mm.
if a police in Nigeria, if you are carrying your pickup, if there's a rule, if there's a rule in place that, okay, you are not anti-robbery squad, and you as an anti-robbery squad, you are supposed to respond whenever you hear bank robbery or robbery is going somewhere, not for you to go and be doing stop and search on the road. Now, if there's a rule that, okay, at a particular point in time, you cannot park your vehicle, that you cannot put more than a certain number of people that or maybe civilian, that is civilian, into your vehicle, or you have camera on your vehicle that monitors whatever you are doing on site. You understand? The police you see today, they will caution themselves. Now look at what they are doing around our immigration, that they are putting e-gate, all those stories. Probably Baba Sue, for example, will have been alive today if you have some things to stop these people, that the first target is not security, the first target is how they are going to extort you. There are so many people that they are working remotely in Nigeria, that police and AFCC will go and harass, that, oh, they are Yahoo boys, that they'll be forcing you to bring your phone. If you don't have a mechanism in place to stop police from doing that, they will keep doing that, because the love of money is the root of all evil. as they are, the first thing that comes to their mind that they want to make extra money outside their salary. So they will always find a way to roll people every opportunity they will use. So if you don't find something to monitor them, they won't be. And it still comes to leadership. That's my point.
Thank you, sir. I agree with everything you said. And that's how I think it's supposed to be. You understand? Uh-huh. But all these guys, they'll be like, oh, they now blame these
No, what
poor
I'm
citizens.
it's not that we are supporting the God. What I'm saying is that everybody needs to play a role. Because, for example, there are those that are supposed to watch the police, and there are those who are supposed to watch those that are watching the police. That's how system work. Whereby
Who's going to, but
everybody,
who's
when
putting, this is what I'm saying. I get what you're saying.
there
Who's
are those
putting
people,
those structures in place?
there are those
How
structures.
do you report a
Hold on,
police?
let me explain to you. Those structures they are in place, but let me tell you what's going on in the country. They all work together. They have their courts in what they get from like those that are supposed to regulate the police. They also have their courts they are getting from police. They know all these things. That's why when you report shit, it doesn't go far because those who are supposed to regulate them are also involved in the corruption. For example, let's use INEC for example. I see Nigerians always blame the national chairman. But if you have been following Nigeria elections since 1999, you realize that the ringing doesn't take place at the leadership at the top. It takes place at the state level, at the local level. If you watch, once those state commissioner comes in, they in your television you are watching it, they just call out the number, they call out the result. So that's why I would say people need to focus more.
But you see, now,
Hold on,
okay.
who are the people appointed as state rep? These are the people you need to. For example, who saved Abia state election? It was the state rep. She refused to take bribe. It has nothing to do with Mahmood. But the thing is that we always point finger at the wrong direction. The state rep, they are the one in charge. If corruption wants to take place, they are the one. The chairman is just there to call out the result. So we need to focus on who are the people appointed at the state as state commissioner of INEC.
The other issue is yes, we can be innovative. We have to monitor, do all those things. But let me give you, for example, in my own town where I work is I can compare the town to maybe a place like Oshogbo or Akure. And I just check online, and the police in that town alone, a town that is population is just about 400,000 people. They have about 3,500 vehicles. Just one town. Even how many vehicles do we have for our police? Let's say even a place, a state like Lagos, who has a population of almost 30 million people. You understand? So the issue that we have to look at is
So
how
now,
can we
but
finance how can we
wait,
finance all these things that we are talking about?
who,
We
n-
cannot be
n-
talking. Wait now, let me finish now. We cannot be talking about all this without also looking at how can we finance it.
now, is that,
Some people
is
are
it,
talking earlier on the morning. I was hearing some people say Buhari used to travel out to for medical. He didn't build any hospital. Even if you build the hospital, how can they sustain that hospital? We all know how much it costs to maintain all those hospitals that we used to attend in wherever we are working outside Nigeria. The budget of that hospital alone can even swallow the budget of a whole state. One hospital. So we also have to be looking at, we deserve all these things. How can we finance it? That is another aspect that we have to look at. Security is not cheap. Health is not cheap. So if we have to get all these things right, finance is also Algeria that you are looking at, that Algeria is not up to in terms of size bigger than Nigeria, but in terms of population is not even up to half of our population. Algeria is budgeting $65 billion on security.
So why can
65 billion.
Nigeria